Hey everyone, welcome back to Sports Tea. I hope you all had an amazing Thanksgiving week. And I'm also hoping that somebody maybe picked up some good Black Friday deals because I didn't get anything. Let's see, who do we have here in the chat so far? Okay. I see you guys in here having a whole conversation without me. I know that I'm tardy to the party. I know. Okay. Well, as you can see from the thumbnail, we'll be covering Carmelo Anthony's comments about LeBron on his podcast tonight. We'll get into some news about Bronny that was quietly announced yesterday. We'll also talk about the Lakers NBA Cup elimination, as well as some scathing JJ Reddick criticism from Tim Hardaway. So please do me a solid favor, guys, and like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't gotten a chance to do so already. Before we get started, I would like to shout out our members. So let's see. I want to give a big shout out to Spurs Ann, Ron Whitehead, Blanco Smoke, Carl for President Anthony, Force Ghost Fabio, Yazid Yerbay, T-Bert, of course, my twin, Relax and Focus, All Gravy, WW, Neil Howlett, Von Chris Cordova, KM, Big Al Master Chief, Mikey Brass, Sports Facts, Jeffrey Guyett, Christopher Baldwin, Right Hand Cam, It's Not That Serious. And I just also want to thank you all for being loyal members of Sports Tea. You help the channel to continue to grow and just expand, so I'm really grateful for you guys. I'm also going to just quickly shout out the folks that made generous donations to the channel this past week. Lamont, thank you so much. Push, Spurzan, Right Hand Cam, It's Not That Serious, Blanco Smoke, Jeffrey Young, Michael Holmes, Boy You Dirty, Off Top, Abraham, Donna Cox, Josephine, Deddy TV, Nino Jackson. Thank you all. It really means a lot to me. Okay, so let's kick off our first topic of the night. Do we want to wait for a couple of people to join us? Oh, I see opinion stated. Guys, please go over to his channel and check it out. Check out the content. Subscribe right away. He has some really amazing takes. So he's definitely knows his stuff. So check him out as well. I see you, Horizon Vibes, Pizza Time. Welcome in, guys. Thanks for being up late with me, rocking out on, late Saturday night. Well, I guess it's Sunday now. MH, hello to you. Salute to everybody in the chat right now. Nick T, Pookie Man, King Low. Shout out to all the moderators holding it down for me in the chat as well. I really appreciate you guys. Funky Town, I see you in there. JLJ. Thank you guys for being here. We'll get started. Okay, so let's just kick off the first topic of the night, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. So for those of you who don't know, this is Carmelo Anthony's podcast. He recently had Iman Shumpert on the show, who, by the way, has been doing a media tour all over the last several weeks. He's just been everywhere, trending. And so I wonder if he's trying out for different podcasts because the Dancing with the Stars check stopped rolling in or what. I don't know. But neither here nor there. He's just been giving us content creators like great material, and the YouTube streets are loving his interviews exposing LeBron. So it seems like every week or so, LeBron continues to wear out his welcome. And he's got just all this, all this goofy clown behavior. And the former NBA players or former teammates of his are slow cooking him. They're starting to reveal where all the dead bodies are. Carmelo Anthony, he talks about the Cavs. He talks about the trade specifically of Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith getting traded to the Cavs. And I want to play this for you guys. and then we'll go ahead and react to it, okay?
And JR got shit to Cleveland. You got a chance to win the championship and play with LeBron. I told Bron, oh, that's what we doing. When it happened, only thing going through my mind is, Bron, I know this is a chess game. I got to get these away from him.
Right.
It's up over there.
Real talk.
I can use Shump and JR to go win a championship. That's why I flipped out like that in the locker room, because I'm like,
just put me back 3 years. In that room, all you hear just boom, boom, water splashing.
You do not touch this nucleus right here. I don't give a what you do. I said, yo, y'all can't say shit to me. Do you know what the y'all just did?
You gonna send him to him?
You gonna send him to him? Loud. We're building to go against this. You gonna, what? Y'all don't give a about me. This is nasty. This put them over the top. This is for you.
Okay. I want to tell you guys that perhaps what I'm about to say is an unpopular opinion, but I didn't care for Carmelo Anthony when he was playing for the Knicks. I think he was his best in Denver, and I never wanted him to play for the Knicks. I rebuked the trade, okay? I really liked the team we had with Amari Stoudemire leading the team without a flashy superstar. I felt like Carmelo was one of the least defensive players in the league at the time, and I just knew that the team would have issues following him. And of course, they did. Carmelo Anthony was the definition of star ball in my eyes. Yes, he was an amazing scorer of the basketball and can make a bucket from anywhere on the floor. And in my opinion, he was a lazy player. And, you know, back then, guys on the West Coast, they were a little bit bigger. They were a little chunkier. They played at a slower pace on the West. That's what they were known for. And the East Coast, you had to be much more fit and ready to run. And that wasn't his body type. And yeah, I wasn't a fan of the trade. I wasn't looking forward to it. And, you know, I would literally see him standing on one side of the court waiting for the basketball. I remember the Daily News in New York City tearing him up for not defending, so much so that he lost some weight in order to move a little bit better on defense. He pretended to defend, but it wasn't, I mean, it was better. It was better than nothing. That's what I'll say. I also want to say that Carmelo was not going to win a title with J.R. Smith and Shumpert anyway. And you see the Knicks on my wall. I'm a Knicks fan, right? So at best, their team was a first or second round knockout, even if they stayed. But with all that said, what LeBron James did to Carmelo Anthony, it was disgusting. It's not bad enough that he already had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. He had a legitimate big man in Tristan Thompson. Why are you taking your competition's players mid-season to stage a coup? That's the thing with LeBron James. He always has some devious plot cooking. He can never get out there and compete. He has to lie, he has to cheat and steal players to get ahead. Even when people say, I say it all the time, Man Down says it, a lot of our channels say that LeBron James is manufacturing titles. That's what we say, right? And it's not just a narrative that gets put out there. It's things like this that give that credence. It proves it every time. And I'm not making it up. You heard Carmelo Anthony. So when people say that LeBron manufactured his entire career, not just titles, it ties back to the team hopping, but it's not just about getting traded or leaving a team when your contract is over. It's that LeBron has picked his teams, he picked his teammates, and he picked his coaches. When you're allowed to pick the organization you want to play for and pick the players that you'll play alongside, as well as the coaches that will lead you, and you still have a losing record in the finals, it's concerning. There's no way anyone in their right mind can possibly believe that LeBron is the GOAT, let alone a top 10 player all time. It's not even laughable at this point anymore, especially as these dead bodies are uncovered. What else? What else is next in the expose of LeBron James? It's so crazy we can't make it up at this point. But that soundbite that you guys just heard proves that the 2016 title with the Cavs was orchestrated. LeBron was pulling the strings the whole time. LeBron specifically stole Carmelo Anthony's teammates to make them less competitive. But why does LeBron always have to duck the smoke? Why does he never want to compete his entire career? It goes back to before the NBA. I would say it goes back to his childhood, back to when he was growing up. So the psychoanalysis is this. LeBron, he's a bully. LeBron learned how to get his way by bullying others. And the thing, guys, about a bully, the thing that a bully fears the most is getting punched in the mouth. So the bullying jig is exposed, right? Bronny is like kind of like a runt who can't play high school basketball on a high school level, on a high level, no less college, no less the G League, and no less the NBA. Bronny getting bullied online is sort of tantamount to LeBron getting punched in the mouth. Now, the question is, how did LeBron become a bully in the first place? Let's look at his story in Akron. LeBron, his whole crew learned basketball at the Maple Street YMCA in Akron. There were 4 of them. The best kid was like, I don't know, 4'10" or something crazy like that, and under about 100 pounds. His name was Drew. The 4 of these kids go to St. Vincent, St. Mary, whatever it is, instead of the black public school, following a white coach over there. They won the Division State title freshman year, but the kid who won the final was Drew. LeBron was behind and he was losing. Drew sat on the bench. They called Drew to check in for the second half because nothing was working. The crowd laughed at him like, I don't know, like they just laughed as he checked in because the kid looked like a mascot or a child next to these big guys. But what happened was Drew turned around and hit 7 straight 3-point shots to win the game for LeBron. They win the state title. The white coach cashed in and took a college job, betraying the boys. Hence, LeBron had been betrayed twice by a male figure. First, his father, and now his high school coach. Drew's father takes over for coaching. Given how well he developed Drew, that makes sense, right? But LeBron is experiencing gaps in development. No father, no coach, but LeBron is growing. They lose the state title to a white team sophomore year. LeBron misses a 3 at the buzzer in the 98-96 loss. So LeBron loses confidence in his skills to win. That makes sense to me. And this is when he's just a sophomore. He won the first title relying on Drew's skills. He lost the second title on his own skills. By junior and senior year, LeBron is flat out bigger and stronger than others. He can bully everybody in the country with his size and athleticism, jumping and dunking, etc. Hence, he's leaving huge gaps in his development. He is either relying on the skills of others to win, like Drew, or his size to bully opponents. He needs to win because he compensates for the gaps in development in his home life. He's out on the cover of Sports Illustrated in high school as the chosen one. Then his mother is given a loan for a Hummer by a booster. LeBron is betrayed and deemed ineligible by the commissioner. This is the 3rd time LeBron is betrayed by a male figure, but he is never betrayed when he bullies or hides behind the skills of others like Drew. LeBron skips college and goes straight to the NBA, creating the fourth gap in development. In the NBA, he then reverts to his patterns due to the gaps in development. He either bullies opponents or hides behind the skills of others, such as Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving, Ray Allen, AD. The list goes on, but we've seen it. LeBron doesn't trust his own skills. He missed the shot that lost the title sophomore year in high school. Drew took the shots that won freshman year, so naturally LeBron will pass up a shot and defer to others in crunch time due to the gaps in LeBron's development. These gaps in development explain all of LeBron's behaviors to me. Manufacturing super teams by betraying his friends, relying on size and style to bully opponents by bum rushing to the rim, deferring to highly skilled teammates to take the last shot, bullying others to get Bronny into the McDonald's All-American game, into college, and then also into the NBA. And now LeBron is fleeing social media to avoid what the bully fears most: a punch in the mouth. If any of those gaps in development had been filled, even if LeBron spent 1 year, just 1 year in college, had been treated differently by his coach or the high school commissioner, we would have seen a totally different personality. Ironically, LeBron's success is due principally to one person he never even met: his father, who passed on his genetic makeup that gave LeBron the size and the athleticism needed to bully others. That's the kind of sketchy rendition of the gaps in development and betrayals that produce LeBron's personality. If he wasn't such a jerk, I'd almost be willing to show empathy for his situation. However, the behaviors are very hard to accept, to wit, bullying, betraying friends to manufacture super teams, manufacturing narratives to steal titles from other more skilled players such as Carmelo Anthony, using his weight and prestige to bully others to get preferential treatment for Bronny at the expense of other legitimate players, and ultimately queuing up the entire league to get preferential treatment across the board at the expense of the game as a whole. These are all the forms of deep-seated retribution for LeBron. He needs therapy. And although I just gave my opinions on why he's like this, I am not a therapist, so why should I give a damn? It's completely inappropriate for me to diagnose a personality disorder if you are neither a licensed psychologist or an MD, nor a person who has even interviewed the patient. But LeBron is a public figure. His life story is in like this public domain. And quite frankly, it's a case study. LeBron is a case study that needs to be examined. But I do want to know what you guys think. Did LeBron orchestrate the 2016 title and snake Carmelo? Why or why not? I'll read some comments before we jump to the next topic. I know. Therapy is good. I think it's something that everybody should do, sort of like mental fitness. There's nothing wrong with it, but of course it's stigmatized and all those kinds of things. What else do we have here? Remember, LeBron wanted to get PG and CP3 while making those moves behind Kyrie's back. But these YouTubers were blaming Kyrie for leaving. Haha, those fanboys. That's really interesting that you say that, Horizon Vibes, because LeBron was also trying to get Carmelo Anthony on the team as well. He's an industry puppet. Young disciple, LeBron didn't need college. Well, I disagree that he didn't need college because he still has all these holes in his game. And I think literally just 1 year of college, he might have very well been able to be the GOAT. Just 1 year of college, he might have been able to just have some better fundamentals. Sad story. I know. I thought it was sad too. Phil Jackson traded Shump and JR. Okay. But we know how Phil Jackson got to trading them. He didn't just trade them. LeBron has to approve of the folks that go to his team. You know that, Young. Come on. He is showing deep narcissism, and it gets worse as they age. I wonder if LaFlop gets how many charging when Joe Dumars is guarding him. Nick T, excuse me for asking, but if you don't like Ticket and Dominique, why are you watching someone who annoys you? That's a really good question, because the interesting thing is, like, I don't follow anybody that I don't like, and I don't know. It just takes a lot of energy to me to be engaging that way. And I think, like, I want to encourage Nick T to consume the content that he enjoys. If you're not enjoying this, then you should go to another channel. We want we don't want bad vibes here. We want good vibes. I'm okay with being challenged. Being challenged is not an issue, but it's how you do that. And it's like, we're just here to talk about sports. There doesn't need to be any disrespect or, I just think if you don't like it here, you don't have to be here. I'm not begging for you to be here. And I don't want anybody who's unhappy to be feeling so bad. So, where is Nick T? I'm dissecting everything. I mean, that is what I'm doing. I'm examining, I'm breaking things down. That's what I'm doing. Okay, you don't dislike Ticket, but you dislike this channel? I'm confused. You love Sport T? Okay, well, I appreciate that. Okay, so we can move on from that. It's really sweet, Nick T. Thank you for clarifying that. And you can have a difference of opinion. That's all allowed. And like, I hold space for that. So this isn't a place where my voice is the only voice that can be heard. I want to welcome people who might disagree and have something else to add. It's all good. 22 years in the league should teach you fundamentals. I mean, it should also teach you free throws. It should teach you like a jump shot. So these are things that oftentimes change for LeBron every single season. His free throw, his jump shot, it's just not connecting. LeBron would have never made GOAT status because he doesn't have the clutch gene. Perhaps. We'll never know. We'll really never know. I would lean to agree with you because of what we've seen in the last 22 years. But if I never saw anything and someone's being called the chosen one, who knows? Sky's the limit. LeBron pays people to hype him up, smear campaign Jordan, and say he's the GOAT. Real GOATs, MJ, Tiger, etc. Just pay and let the people decide. Oh, play and let the people decide. I agree with you, Daryl. Adam Silver planned for LeBron to win 3 or 4 championships for Cleveland. Instead, Steph and the Warriors interrupted their plans. That's why the mainstream media is still mad at the Warriors and LeBron fans. Hi, David. Salute to you. Salute to everybody in the chat. Thank you for all of the engagement. I see 166 folks here. Let's see, how many likes do we have? Let's see. So far. So far, we have 60 likes. If we can get that up to 150, that would make me super happy. Like and share. Like and share. Okay, guys. Let's move along. Let's move along to our second topic of the night, and that's Bronny James. We've all seen and like what's been going on all season, right? And I mean, it hasn't been so long. It's been, what are we, like 15 games in or so? But Bronny hasn't been playing. We've all been wondering, where the hell is Bronny? And there's been so much happening in the sports world that I think we kind of missed the announcement that was made about him. I'm not sure if you guys are all aware, but the Lakers have recalled Bronny back from the G League. And all hell has broken loose in Laker Nation. It's bad. I want to show you a few of the comments that Laker Nation had for this decision, and I'm going to be pulling up the nicest ones, but take a look. And so, as you can see here, Quincy Oliveri is averaging almost 30 points in the G League. So 28.3, 6 rebounds, almost 7 assists. And I mean, the comment that sticks out to me the most here is, call up Oliveri. This is getting ridiculous. Please call up Oliveri. What about Quincy? Come on. Love Bronny because we're James fans. But as Laker fans, can we please, please, please call up Quincy? This expletive has gotten to be, it's got to be Rob and Jeannie, bro. So I find that part funny because, you know, LeBron fans, they will protect him. They'll blame the ownership. They'll blame the GM. That's what they'll do, right? They don't want LeBron to be responsible for how poorly Bronny's playing. And I mean, he can't jump into his body and play for him, but it's pretty terrible that he would force his son into the NBA when he's just not ready to be there. So, you know, I feel there are days when I feel bad for Bronny, but then when he tells us that he's, you know, really loving the cameras, I don't feel bad. You know, it's, I don't want to dislike Bronny, but it's hard for me to have any respect for him when he's saying things like that during blowout losses. So you just got blown out and you're telling people that the cameras were nice. And it was really great to get a standing ovation, even though your team just got blown off the floor. So those are the things, like, it's hard for me to respect about LeBron and Bronny. It's really tough. And I think that the bad press that LeBron has been receiving is overshadowing the news that Bronny has been called back up to the NBA to play with the Lakers instead of staying down there in the G League. They must think it's better for him to stay at the end of the bench and not improve his game just like his father than to actually grind in the G League and work hard to earn the roster spot that he's taking up on the Lakers. Instead of looking for those opportunities, like Ryan Clark said, they're forcing the privilege and special treatment on everyone. No matter how loud the criticism is or the vitriol is, they are standing 10 toes down, stapled in the ground, wrong and strong on the idea that Bronny belongs in the NBA and is an actual NBA player. It's disgusting and it's downright shameful. The Lakers organization, LeBron James, Rob Pelinka, JJ Redick, Adam Silver, Rich Paul, and anyone else I forgot to mention has zero respect for this game. I'm fine with people having no respect for the league because players are still in golden handcuffs, but they have no love or respect for the game of basketball. Kobe Bryant, David Stern, Jerry West, Bill Russell. These guys are rolling in their graves. They're just rolling over in their graves. This is a disgrace to the history of the sport. And I don't know if you guys know of this, but I want to give an example. Has anyone ever seen the documentary or read the book Mr. Untouchable? I want to see in the comments. Has anybody read that book, Mr. Untouchable? Or has seen the documentary? No one? Okay, I don't see anybody that knows what I'm talking about. But okay. So no, you haven't seen it, but basically it's the Nicky Barnes story. he was one of the biggest drug lords in Harlem. He ran what he coined their crew as the Council. He basically created the Muslim mafia in Harlem, pretty much. Long story short, he was a kingpin that was the first to be convicted by an anonymous jury. He was in jail due to a wiretap from an informant that was able to infiltrate the council. And he continued to run things while he was in jail. He noticed his team was being disloyal to him. Not only were they not following his directions and orders to kill people, they weren't paying his lawyers properly. His right-hand council member, Guy Fisher, started helping. And Guy Fisher is the person who's responsible for the Apollo, if you guys know what that is. But so yeah, his right-hand man, Guy Fisher, decided to start helping himself to his favorite mistress, who Nikki Barnes was head over heels for. And another associate of his started sleeping with his actual wife when she found out that he had a mistress, because she found some sort of engraved jewelry or something. Golly, that's a lot, right? He was so fed up with the council at this point that he had no reason to be loyal to them. He built this entire this entire group. He built this crew from the bottom. He was a dope fiend turned drug king. That's who Nikki Barnes was. And so, you know, he has no loyalty to them at this point. He realized that his entire crew has turned against him while he's in jail. They're basically running it as if, you know, he's still in charge and the feds know that, while they are all out free, living their best lives, making a ton of money, sleeping with his women. And apparently that was a rule. They had wrote a rule book, and, you know, the guys were not allowed to sleep with each other's women, whether it was a wife or a mistress, whomever. And so Nikki Barnes, he says in the documentary, and I encourage you guys to watch it because it's a really good one. If I can't run it, I sure can wreck it. And he began singing behind bars. He snitched on over 100+ people, including his wife, for revenge. He didn't even get his sentence reduced at that time. They promised him that he wouldn't get a reduction after 21 years. They put him in, and then they put him in witness protection, but they made him sit there in jail for 21 years. Turn around and put him in WITSEC. I say all that to say this. LeBron was never able to actually run the NBA. He was given the keys, like de facto king. Here you go. He was given a lot of power, but he didn't actually run the NBA. He never did. He was never able to truly dominate as a player in this league. And since he couldn't run it, he's never been able to eclipse Michael Jordan. So he decided to wreck it and disrespect this league by forcing Bronny on the entire basketball community when he cannot play. By the way, Bronny is still 0% from 3, just in case if you guys didn't know. But what do you guys think? Will Bronny come back to the Lakers and ball out? I wonder if he will get meaningful minutes. Bricky Jr. is just god-awful so far. I don't think he'll improve, but I want to hear from you guys. I'll read some comments and then I'll open the phone lines. And I just want to know, is anyone in the chat okay with Bronny coming back to the Lakers to continue the spectacle? Okay. Singing like a canary. He sure did. I mean, Nikki Barnes was like the snitch of all snitches. Even if it's manufactured, LaFlop has only won 20% championship in 20 years playing in the NBA. Facts. This shows he even doesn't decide and select his teammates correctly. No, absolutely. I mean, this is the problem that I have with him. You can't literally pick your team. So you're going to go to any franchise of your liking. Then you're going to get to hand pick your teammates. Then you get to personally select and hire your coach. And you're still losing. How does that make sense? No way we just compared LeBron to a drug lord. We compared him to a drug kingpin. Yes, we did. Not that LeBron sells drugs. It's just the mentality of leadership and what happens when things crumble. So, you know, if you didn't like that comparison, I'm sorry, but it reminded me of that. When you can't run something, you want to wreck it. When you feel like you're not in control, you want to ruin it. And the integrity of the sport is ruined now as a result of Bronny being here. The idea that players can have all kinds of privileges and special treatment for their sons or whomever is also just rampant. There are things that LeBron has done that's going to shape and change the NBA for years to come in a negative way, not in a positive way. Celebration is going to be crazy at my place when LeBron retires. I don't know whether to celebrate or to cry because I know that he's just going to keep wreaking havoc. He's going to force his way into NBA ownership. He's going to continue to make a spectacle of this league to the point where, we don't really want to watch. We already don't want to watch. We're already not watching. That's the point, right? We're not watching. People are not watching the sport. And the question is why? One, it's not a good product. And two, they're not, the NBA is not marketing the right people. You cannot market Bronny everywhere and think that people are going to want to watch that. So that's the issue that I see. Hi, Pizza Time. Aw, you're so sweet. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put the phone number up for you guys to call in. Let me know. Do you guys think that Bronny's going to be coming back playing really well? Do you guys think that that he's going to continue to stink it up? Because I do. Let me know. Okay. If there's no calls on this topic, I will move to the next. I know it's late for everybody. I know everybody's either up super late or up super early. Oh, looks like we have a caller from Arizona. Okay, so caller from Arizona, do me a favor and just mute your TV in the background so that we're not getting an echo.
Hello?
Hi, this is Dominique. Talk to me nice.
How you doing, Missy? It's just this guy, man. It's like he's the only athlete or only player in the NBA that seems to like have this. They manipulate his career. He can manipulate his career. And if anybody that moved like how he moved, us fans would have called it out. It didn't matter if it was Mike or Kobe that did the same thing. We would have called it out. But when you call out LeBron for doing it, then all of a sudden, so you hating on a black man.
Right.
It's just it's weird. Like, it's just crazy to, it's crazy to, real basketball fans. This guy been playing for 22 years. There's no evolution in his game. He just plays the same style of basketball. And it's funny that they can call this guy the best player ever and the most skilled ever, but he's not even remotely skilled. Like, he's not. And we don't hate the guy. It's just he's not who people think he is.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I really do. What's your name, sir?
My name is Greg G. I'm from Brooklyn.
Oh, it's Brooklyn. Stand up.
Yes. It's just disheartening that that we have this place where it's like people just and then he's not the guy. Like if a guy comes along better than Michael Jordan, we ain't gotta say it. We don't gotta say it.
Because we'll see it, right?
We'll see it exactly. But it's like they try to force this guy. Like, oh, like they got to keep throwing, like they got to compare him to Mike. And it's funny because when he retires, which I hope he does, they're gonna compare the next guy to Mike, and it's not gonna be LeBron who they comparing him to. Mike is the standard, like, you know, in the sport. Like I'm 37 years old. I grew up watching this guy. Like I watched The Last Shot live. I played basketball in the city, so it's like, you know, I grew up playing basketball in the '90s in New York. So you know, I watched Mike.
You know
like,
what it was like at the Big Boy Park. You know what it was like at the big park. You know what it's like to get your 1,000 hours in on the playground.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, but Bronny, he's not. I'm sorry. Bronny, all this does is make any average guy sit on the couch playing NBA 2K think they can make the league.
So wild.
I remember when the NBA it was no boys allowed back then. No boys allowed.
So do I. I remember that as well. And there was no crying in basketball. You know, you had to get up. You had to be tough.
Exactly. Like you want me asking, like you about the same age. I'm born in '87, so it's like crazy to me that how, you know, people like, you know, there's some people that's my age that just slob over this guy. I'm like, LeBron's not he's not the GOAT. He's just not like he's all like, it's funny. Us Jordan fans or whatever they want to call us, we can acknowledge LeBron as an all-time great, but for some weird reason, it's like his fanboys can't give Jordan any credit. They got to tear him down in any.
I know.
Any way possible.
They say that he killed his father. They say all kinds of things. The things that I hear and see are insane. I was watching a debate channel yesterday, and there was this guy saying over and over and over again that Michael Jordan quit in 1993. He quit the game of basketball, and he was a quitter. And that I
remember the day he retired.
Yeah, like he retired because his father died.
Oh, he needed some time to process that stuff. And it's funny because the day he retired, I remember I was a kid in school, and it was like,
me too.
Somebody said, like, I remember coming home from school, and people were like outside on my block. They was like, "You heard the news?" I'm like, "No." They said, "What happened?" Michael Jordan died. They said Michael Jordan retired. It was like somebody had died when they said he retired.
It was like that though. It was hard when Michael Jordan was retired.
You know, it's crazy, man. Like, you know, and when like LeBron, I think he's played too long. He's played so long to the point that you could call out, like, he's gonna play so long that you can call out all the holes in his game. Mm-hmm. Like you can see the holes in his game from him just playing so long. Like he can't, like all these superstar players gotta adjust to him, whereas he can't adjust to them because of his the limitations. Like people say, "Oh, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the first 10 failed and they didn't put a good enough team around him." I call it BS because if you want to be honest, you know, they put guys around him that does what he doesn't excel at, like shooting. They put a bunch of 3-and-D guys around him. Like if you want to play the game, but they used to justify him for leaving Cleveland the first time. Oh, Cleveland front office fails them, but yet can't we use the same narrative, the same talking points for Kevin Durant? We could say, "Oh, OKC failed KD, and that's why he went to Golden State." Can we use that?
Insane.
Huh?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said, can we use like the fanboys? They would use him jumping ship to Miami,
and they try to compare it to KD. It's not the same at all. Kevin Durant, that move was a reaction to LeBron creating super teams. He wanted to win too. So he was just like, "Okay, I got something for you. I'm going to go here and I'm going to beat you."
I think him doing that, he's like, it subconsciously made everybody else say, "You know what? We can build our teams a certain way to slow him up." Like, you know, like when he did that, he probably would have won more rings had he not jumped ship to Miami. He probably would have won because the East was already eroding. You know, the Celtics were getting old. Like, and I just find it funny. They always say, "Oh, the Celtics big three was formed to stop LeBron from going to the finals." I'm like, no, that's not true. It was the Pistons. Everybody picked the Pistons and Celtics to be in the finals in 2008. I was watching the NBA for almost well over 30-something years. So I'm like, why people act like this guy? Like they always try to make it seem as if, and then Kevin Durant, he was to go to State because he was scared of LeBron James. No, he wasn't. He lying. These guys be lying. Like these fanboys be lying. I'm like, damn. Like
I
Well,
mean, they lie a lot, but it's because they just didn't watch enough basketball in a lot of cases.
yeah, like, it's sad. It really like it's so it's disappointing that his fanboys are used. Cleveland failed him the first go. They failed him. Like he's the only person that gets the front office failed him. How come any other all-time great doesn't get that moniker, that stamp, the front office failed him? Patrick Ewing got failed by the Knicks. AI got failed by the Sixers. Reggie Miller got failed by the Pacers. Why nobody uses that? That excuse. But only for LeBron he gets that excuse though. Hell,
It's true.
OKC's front office failed Kevin Durant. By that metric, they failed him so he went to Golden State.
Of course they did.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
they had Westbrook on the team.
But you see what I'm saying? Like we could, like I said, we could use that. Mo Williams, this man left like the Cavs won 66 games and one game the following year, and he was the reigning back-to-back MVP. You mean tell me he couldn't get to the finals? He couldn't get to the finals? But it's funny how they'll brag about him going to 8 straight finals on the super teams. But
that's what they always do. Going to the finals and losing is an accomplishment, and Michael Jordan getting knocked out in the first round is the end of the world. Even
it's
though
a team accomplishment, like him going to 8 straight is a team accomplishment, but somehow they'll say Jordan 6-0 was a team accomplishment, but LeBron going 8-0 was an individual accomplishment. It don't work like that. LeBron. He's been able to navigate and maneuver to play on teams, stack teams to get to the finals.
It literally doesn't make sense. I try not to even have these arguments because they're grounded in nothing. Seriously. But I do want to thank you for calling in. Great call, great commentary. And I hope to hear from you again soon. What was your name again?
I'm a sub to the channel. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me on Sports Peak. You have a good one. God bless. And from New York to New York.
Thank you so much.
Love. Take care, okay?
What was your name again, sir?
My name is Gregory, but you call me G. They call me Greg G. It's cool.
Greg G. Thanks so much for calling in. Thank you for subscribing to the channel as well. I really appreciate you. And I hope
have a happy Sunday. God bless.
You too.
You will hear from me again. Yes, man.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Funky Town, talk to me nice.
Hey, sweetie, how are we doing this evening? You're
so
on fire
good.
early this morning.
I know. I'm sorry. I just
no, man,
wanted to
it
make
had to
sure
be done. I guess it had to be handy.
There's just so much going on,
Right. Now, just a few things on this. Try to clear this whole supposed argument. How is it you manufactured 3 separate super teams in 3 separate locations, and none of those are dynasties? Not one.
Yeah. Michael Jordan created dynasties. LeBron did not. I mean, the case should be closed.
No, not Michael Jordan did a three-peat twice.
It's never been.
Right?
We haven't seen that. I haven't seen it in my lifetime. A 2-time three-peat.
I didn't see it, and I wasn't around when. Matter of fact, the year I was born was the last year that Bill Russell won, and he was coaching. How many times did
he win? 8
at the same
times
time.
Straight?
What's it again?
I think. How many times straight did Bill Russell win? 8 times?
I think there was a time period where it was close to 6, or it might have been 8.
I think
there were
8
2 breaks. There were 2 breaks in there.
Okay.
Like he lost 2 separate games, 2 separate finals, and it was at 2 different times.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember the breakdown. But again, that was a different league. That was a different time period, smaller league, and everything like that, and concentration of talent. And I'm not even. I'm just saying I haven't witnessed it myself. All I know is that when you're trying to compare this fake piece of crap to Jordan, there's just no. It's ridiculous that they're trying to make it a comparison, but they're flooding everybody's minds with things that really don't make any sense, don't matter. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about 8 straight times to the finals. Did you win 8 straight times, or were you losing? Michael Jordan lost one. Michael Jordan was beaten by 1 point. By 1 point, his rookie season in the playoffs. His rookie season. It's the only time he's ever been outscored by any player, teammate, or opponent in any series in the playoffs or finals. 1 point by Terry Cummings in 1985. That's it. And again, 1 point throughout the series. Not an average of 1 point. No. And a single point. Now let's put that into perspective. Jason Terry busted LaFlop's behind in 2011.
Oh my gosh.
In the
2011 is like, it's a nightmare.
They want to act like the year didn't even happen.
I wonder if that year haunts LeBron. Like, I wonder if he thinks about it all the time.
If he had a conscience, it would bother me. If and again, Jason Terry's a great player. He's a good player, but he's not supposed to be. There's levels to this stuff,
right?
And you going in there and you're number 3. You're the number 3 scorer on your team that you manufactured. You put together. You built. You got it all coordinated, and this is your plan. It's all you, and you're number 3 in the finals when it counts. You gonna come up with some phony ass leg cramps when the Spurs are whipping your ass in 07? You gonna come up with? I mean, he got more excuses than you shake a stick at when it comes to the actual factual.
I know.
When you actually like break it down, November 1990 to June of 1998, the Bulls with Michael Jordan never lost more than 2 games in a row. He has played more than 8 seasons than Michael Jordan at this point right now. And he's still behind Jordan when it comes to 30-point games.
I know.
Make it make sense.
I know. Charles Barkley, I believe, was making fun of him for that.
Yeah, Charles Barkley. He's like, okay, that's enough of this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You still more than 50 games behind him? What are we talking? Come on, we got to stop this. He's like, we got to stop this. Right?
I mean, I guess LeBron will just keep playing until he, passes some more Jordan records. I mean, I don't know. Like, I really don't know what LeBron is playing for at this point. I don't like it.
I don't like it for the fact that I'm having to look at it. I like it for the fact that now there's nowhere to hide. Right now, you're seeing that nobody, it's becoming pathetic to a lot more people. Like, people they're refusing to hold back and be like, no, I ain't going, because the music's going to stop and somebody's going to be without a chair. So people are like, I ain't going to continue to just, play like I don't know what my eyes saw happen. You know what I mean? This is pathetic. 12 points in a home loss in a tournament that Commissioner Voldemort created for you.
Well, Funky Town, I'm actually going to get to that. That's my next topic. So,
my bad. I didn't mean to jump in.
Thank you so much for calling in. You're awesome.
Y'all hit that like button and just you keep going.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys. I do want to read some super chats. So the first one is from Nick T. Oh, we have another caller from Texas. Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice.
Hey, this is Rod.
Hi, Rod. How's it going today?
I'm all right. It's been a good Thanksgiving.
Are you still eating leftovers?
Yeah, I made sure all the freeloaders took their portions.
Well, I don't want that good. Your
Spurs freeloaders. I'm paying for I'm paying for your food. You're at my house. At least take all this crap that I bought for you. All right. I don't want any of that hanging out in my refrigerator. Just take it all, and then whatever else wasn't left over, like for the little breads I fed to the birdies. I'm on the coast The Seagulls got the rest.
Gotcha.
And they need that.
I was thinking that maybe you were a San Antonio fan and perhaps.
Oh yeah. I want to talk about that. Okay. And about LeBron.
Yes.
And about this whole BS with Clutch Sports. Is he an owner? Is he not an owner? Is it tampering or isn't it a tampering? Because he is ruining the NBA on another level, not just what he does with the team. He does it with Clutch Sports and with Rich Paul and his collection of narcissist supporters that he brought with him in Cleveland. And I'll give you an example, concrete example. I don't know which one because I don't care. They look alike, the Morris twins. Okay, my team was trying to recover. Okay, he could never get Kawhi, and he hates Kawhi, and he hates Popovich, and he hates the Spurs because we humiliated him on national TV. So he could never get Kawhi into his clutches, right? So he comes in with Rich Paul, and then our rebuild, he screws our team over because one of these stupid Morris twins promises to get on there with DeMar DeRozan, right? I forgot who the idiot we got from Portland was that we had there to replace, he was the number one recruit we had, and we couldn't. So he agrees to join the team, and at the last minute, he says back out of it, and thus ruins our team for like 6 years. We can't win anything. He drove Popovich mad. Look, Popovich is now he got TDS. I mean, he spent the next 5 years of his career losing and talking about Donald Trump, and now he had a stroke over it. He literally said in a press conference in the November, Popovich, he says he was hate watching Trump rallies. He goes, I don't know what he's, and then the next day his head explodes and he died. And he's in a wheelchair. So he almost killed Trump. He almost killed my coach, right? And he's almost killed my team. And now we got Wemby. But it's true. There's got to be a look into what this relationship with Clutch. He says he doesn't own, right? It has $1 billion in contracts through the NBA alone. $1 billion in contracts. And that fool, and he was over there talking, he recruits. We played him, they lost. He goes to our rookie, Steph Castle, and what is he doing? He's telling him he needs to come on the Clutch, and the opportunity he gets, as soon as he gets, he's going to tell him not to re-sign with the Spurs. I know exactly, that's what he does. He does it to everybody's team. He tells these people who they should be playing for. Your team develops a young talent. This Clutch organization gets them and says, you should be playing with that Indiana. You should be in LA. They lead them on, and he's not just ruining the teams he's on. He's ruining the team you root for, right? And there really should be I'm serious. There should be some investigation with what he does with Clutch and Rich Paul and what he does manipulating with everybody's rosters. I think he said the fixing goes more than just the team. I think he fixes teams and his opponents and tries to ruin them so that he can get to the top and get back to another stupid finals so he can get another record, and the stupid machine can tell everybody, oh, well, LeBron's so great because he went to his 15th title or contention, but he didn't only won 4, and he has a losing record against I don't know how many people. Tim Duncan, he has a losing record against, right? Dirk Nowitzki, he has a losing record against, right? He has a losing record against the Splash Brothers. He has a losing record against KD, but somehow he's the greatest of all time, even though he has a losing record in the finals against every other significant peer of his time, right? And he dribbled, he crab dribbled the NBA into this whole thing that he does. Has he not made a regular dribble within 5 feet of the paint his entire career? I mean, what are we doing with this whole? It's a machine, and you know what? Now the NBA is suffering because he's old. People have seen through his BS. No, the league has been transformed to this soft little thing that only he can be physical in, so he can dominate it, and it's ruined the NBA. Nobody wants to watch it. The ratings are falling. The tickets, the merch sales are falling, and I guess it's a global game now, right? It's a game for China. It's a game for Europe. the Europeans. It's not a game for anybody in North America. But you're right. You keep going this crusade and exposing this. I don't know what he is. I mean, he could call himself the king. I mean, his mom bought him what did he buy that stupid SUV that everybody's buying when he was 17. He all of a sudden had bought one.
The Hummer.
A Hummer
too.
He got him a Hummer when he was 17, and he was in high school. All right, you keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Rod, for calling in. But I do want to let you know that I think that you're right. I agree with you. I think that LeBron not only fixes his actual team that he's going to be on, but I think that he works very hard, him and Rich Paul, to fix the entire NBA, moving pieces around, threatening teams.
$1 billion in NBA contract. $1 billion.
Yeah.
An NBA contract.
To me, it adds up to a lot of collusion. There has to be. So I want to thank you for calling. You know, highlighting the tampering in the NBA is really great. Thank you so much for doing that. We need to continue to tell the truth. So I appreciate you, and thank you for watching and supporting. I appreciate you. Looks like we have a caller from Georgia. Thanks for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice. Hold on one second. Hello, how are you? Who do I have on the line?
Hello, this is Ricky.
Hi, Rich. How's it going?
I'm fine. It's Ricky. How you doing?
Oh, Ricky, I'm fantastic. What's on your mind?
I just want to dispute a bunch of what y'all saying. It seems like y'all coming from a place of hate when it comes to LeBron.
Okay.
A place of hate. I didn't play professional sports. I played college basketball, and I just don't see what y'all talking about.
Can I ask you a question before? One minute, Ricky. Before you continue, I just want to know, how do you define hate? What does that mean to you? What does that look like?
Just talking negative about somebody who brings so much positive to the game.
So any negativity or criticism is hate.
When you begging for a man to retire who just brings positive to the game.
So because I think LeBron should retire, that's hate. That's not an opinion, but it's hate. I just want to make sure that we're clear on what your definition of hate is, so that I have an understanding. Okay.
Yes, you're 100% correct.
Okay.
Yes, I hope he retire. I want to throw a party when he retire. Well, he just brings positive to the game. He got his son into the league. That's a good thing. That's positive. Bronny. Yes, it's a positive thing.
It's positive also that he's not playing in the G League.
You're not. So what is the 54th pick doing? What is the 53rd pick doing?
He's a 55th
what is the 50th pick doing?
So Bronny's the 55th pick, right? And he's on the floor, right? And you don't think that spot should have gone to anybody else?
So what? So they should have went to the 50.
No, it should have gone to Quincy Olivari, the guy
who Quincy Olivari has been in the league 2 years. He's already been in the league.
Okay. And he worked. So that means that he worked for a spot in the NBA, like a lot of people in the G League do. Do you know that a lot of people start in the G League before they get to the NBA? Did you know that?
They took a chance on him. Y'all never talk about Dwayne Wade's son.
Why would I talk about Dwayne Wade's son? Why would I talk about it? He's working for his spot. He wasn't gifted anything. Nobody's praising him. Ricky, people are going to talk about what's being praised. People are going to talk about what's being hyped.
Exactly.
The media is talking about Bronny. LeBron is talking about Bronny, Ricky.
I just bought 3. I'm a father of 6. I just bought 3 Bronny jerseys for my kids because people love Bronny. They want to see him. People love Bronny.
I haven't seen that. I don't know who loves Bronny.
Okay, because you're not that. Because my kids love Bronny. My kids told me about Bronny.
What do they tell you about him, though? But what do they tell you?
They just love him.
Love him for what? They love him for what?
For him being
Bronny?
For him being him. For being him being him.
Ricky. So let's talk basketball. But let's talk basketball because you're talking about hate. You're talking. So like I'm talking about basketball. I'm talking about what I see on the court.
And what do you see from him?
I see that he's 0% from 3 as a point guard.
He's not a point guard anymore. He's a 2 guard.
So as a shooting guard, he cannot hit a 3. Isn't that an issue?
He hasn't hit one. Exactly.
Okay. Well, when do you think? When do you think we can start talking about?
He has comparable stats to other people in the league.
Like what? Comparable stats To what? He's the worst player. Bronny is the worst player in the G League, and he's the worst player in the NBA.
According to you,
it's not according to me. It's documented. He is the worst plus minus in the entire league. That's not according to me. I didn't make that up. Those are the facts.
Okay, so he can't get better.
I didn't say that he couldn't get better. I'm just waiting for that time to come. I never said that Bronny couldn't get better. I don't think that he will, but that's not a fact.
Until then, you're just gonna sit there and put smut on his name. That's not right.
Until Bronny gets better, and as long as the media is lying about him, so as long as LeBron James continues to lie,
what the media? He hasn't been talked about. He hasn't been seen in 2 weeks.
Yes, he has been. Did you know that ESPN did a highlight reel of Bronny and not showing the missed shots, but as if he made all these shots? Did you see that?
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
2 weeks ago. He hasn't been seen.
And the news is going to be that he's coming back to the Lakers. Why is he not developing in the G League where he belongs? Why? He already played with LeBron. We don't need to see that. His father wants to babysit him. His father is an invested soccer mom.
Do you have kids?
It doesn't matter if I have kids.
Well, no. Okay, I have kids. I want to be around my kids as much as possible. He wants to be around his son as much as possible.
So you want to be around your kids at work where they don't belong?
No, I moved to a town.
What job do you have? I'm just curious. What do you do for work?
I'm a welder. I'm a welder maker.
So you want? Yeah. So are all your kids boys? You want all of them welding with you? That's what you want them to do?
I have a couple with me welding with me right now. A couple with me on my job. I want to do what I'm doing. Exactly.
That's beautiful. But did they want to do that? Did they want to do that?
Yes, they do.
Are they also good at welding like you?
Yes, they are.
Because you taught them, because you developed them, right? You didn't send them to the job not trained. You didn't send them, but they have to get trained to weld. There's a training for that. You have to be an apprentice, don't you?
Exactly.
You have to start somewhere. So where's Bronny's apprenticeship? Because it's not in the NBA.
Just like he got his kids in the NBA, I got my kids in the apprenticeship.
You trained them. LeBron didn't train them. No, they worked for that. They worked to become a welder. They didn't just get it. They had to train. If they sucked as a welder, then they wouldn't be able to do it.
They'll still try. They'll still be out there with me.
They wouldn't be able to do it.
See,
you can either weld or you can't weld. It is a skill set that you learned. It's not just so easy. Not anybody. You don't hear every day that somebody's a welder.
See, that's the thing about y'all. You could tell everybody about their job better than somebody else can tell. I can tell you.
You don't know. You know
more about my job than I know.
You don't know what my experiences are, but what I can tell you is that any work that you do with your hands, you need to learn it.
Okay, you can tell me more about my job than I can.
I didn't say I could tell you more about it. You could tell me about the entire process, but what I'm telling you is that you trained your son. So tell me that you didn't. Tell me that you didn't train them. Tell me that they got thrown in.
They went to apprenticeship program.
Exactly. So you actually put them through a real apprenticeship program. You didn't decide that you were just going to throw them on the job and let them fail and let them get criticized and let them get dog walked all over the media.
That boy's not failing.
Yes, he is failing.
He's living his dream.
He's failing. He's failing. He's nothing like your kids. Bronny is nothing like your kids. You should not even compare him to your children.
Bronny's better than my kids.
Your children work. Bronny is not better than your kids.
Why would y'all poo-poo on somebody's dream?
That's crazy that you love LeBron that much, that you're sitting here and saying
I don't love LeBron. I'm a Michael Jordan fan. I just hate the shoot. I'm a Michael Jordan fan. I'm a Michael Jordan fan. I'm a Michael Jordan fan. You see, you don't listen.
You don't listen. Better than your kids. Bronny's better than your kids when he didn't work for anything. I'm listening. No, I'm listening.
Why didn't work for? Why he didn't work for?
Ricky, I hear you, Ricky. Ricky, I'm hearing you. You just told me that Bronny was better than your kids when your kids went through an apprenticeship program and had to work for their opportunity. It doesn't sound like you gave them anything, actually.
Do what?
It doesn't sound like nepotism to me. But anyway, okay. I'll let you roll with that. If that's what you want to say and you want to sit here on, on this channel in the YouTube streets and tell me that Bronny is better than your children that actually get up every day and go to work.
I'm telling y'all this. I'm telling y'all this. I'm telling y'all
tired of me dissing Bronny that you're willing to diss your own child. That's
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
That's a different level of delusional fandom that if I've ever seen one. And I'm a Michael Jordan fan.
Nobody says nothing about what does Michael Jordan work at? Hello?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to tell me something that makes sense.
What does Marcus Jordan work at?
What do you mean, where does he work at?
Where does he work? Where does he have a job at?
He works for Jordan Brand. Next
Okay,
question.
so he earned it. He earned it, huh?
He created Jordan Brand for sure, yeah.
Marcus Jordan created Jordan Brand.
I didn't say You said Marcus Jordan or Michael Jordan? I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Marcus Jordan. Marcus Jordan. Marcus. What does he work?
I don't think Marcus Jordan works at all.
Yeah, you're incorrect. He works for Jordan Brand. He works for Nike.
Okay, I thought Jasmine Jordan worked for Jordan Brand. I don't think Marcus Jordan, I'm pretty sure got popped. Marcus Jordan, I'm pretty sure got popped for reselling. So I doubt that he works for Nike. So let's fact check you. One moment. I'm going to put you on mute for a minute because we are going to look it up. Marcus Jordan was snorting lines of coke, but I don't know how he could possibly be working for Nike. No, Marcus Jordan does not work for Nike. He literally doesn't work for them. So you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm looking at it. No, he doesn't.
But I seen Marcus Jordan in Florida.
He does not work for Nike. He doesn't. You're getting it wrong. Your facts are wrong. Just because he has a sneaker company, his own, which is he resells. He has his own company. He's the CEO of something called the Trophy Room. He does not work for Nike.
So, but you said Jasmine Jordan worked for Nike.
She does.
So she earned that spot.
I don't know what she earned.
Okay.
Do you know what she earned? But do you know?
Excuse me?
Do you know what Jasmine Jordan earned? Do you know whether or not she went to college? Do you know if she has a marketing degree or whatever her role is at Nike or Jordan Brand? Why is she unqualified for the role that she has? You have to speak on something and make it make sense. When you speak on something, if you're comparing Bronny to Jasmine Jordan, someone who has a college degree and clearly went to school, then tell me why she's unqualified.
So Bronny didn't go to school?
Let me explain something to you, Ricky. Nepotism works for folks that are qualified. When you're qualified for a job, then you're able to put someone somewhere.
Okay, you're a YouTuber.
Nepotism is nepotism, right? It means that, okay, me, right? If I have a daughter or a son, I can put my son or daughter to do a job because, yeah, they're qualified to do it. But if there was a better candidate, I didn't pick the better candidate because they were my son or daughter. It's not that my son or daughter had zero skill set in the role that I'm putting them in.
Well, I thank you for answering my call, but I 100% disagree with y'all takes.
Okay, well, you haven't said anything yet that made sense. You sat here and told me that Bronny was better than your kids. You sat here and told me that Jasmine Jordan wasn't qualified for Jordan Brand to work there. You actually didn't say that. You just said that she's comparable to Bronny when she's not.
Everything I said makes sense.
She went
just to hear y'all, just to hear y'all.
The James family has less than 12 months of college between the entire family. The entire family has less than a year of school. So what jobs are they qualified for? Jasmine Jordan went to school. So I believe that she's most likely more qualified than what Bronny is doing right now.
They qualified to play in the NBA. LeBron is the second greatest player of all time, hands down.
This call isn't qualified. You've gotta give me examples that make sense, and you have to tie things back to things that are actually true. Marcus Jordan doesn't work for Nike. That was debunked. You can look it up right now.
No. He has worked for Nike in the past. He did.
No, he didn't. He's collaborated with Nike for his own company. That's not working for them.
Okay, well, he worked with them.
I'm sorry, you're just misinformed. He didn't working for a company and partnering with somebody on a collaboration because you have a company of your own called the Trophy Room is two totally different things. He is not employed by Nike, especially not out there in public sniffing lines of coke.
And
Nike isn't employing somebody that does that.
Okay. Well, you have a great day, miss, but I just totally disagree with y'all takes on that, man. And I think y'all wrong. And y'all need to stop it. You, Ticket TV, Two Alpha Sports, all y'all need to stop it.
I'm not going to stop it. I'm going to be on LeBron James' ass and the Lakers' ass all season. So, and
I'm doing your ass
to watch. Well, you can try that, but I don't know that that's going to work very well for you.
Okay, then. Have a great day.
You too. Hey, T-Bert. Thanks for calling Sports T. Talk to me nice, buddy.
Hey, what's up, Don? What's up, chat? It's T-Bert. I just had to call. I wasn't even gonna call tonight because I'm chilling. It's 6:15 in the morning.
I can tell you're super chill tonight, but I love it.
I'm chilling, but that last caller, I'm always respectful to all of your community, all of your callers, and I'm gonna still be the same old respectful person to Ricky. Let me just address Ricky, right? So, Ricky, I used to weld, and I used to work as a welder, right? And I went to a trade school for it. And you absolutely have to have training and be qualified to be a welder. Now, I got three kids.
T-Bert. Can you tell me what I said was wrong? What did I tell him that was wrong? Because I'm pretty sure you have to train to be a welder, and you can't just throw somebody in to do something like that.
Right. And this for Ricky. And just to show him that I was a welder, I'll just say some terminology that he understands. I MIG weld and I TIG weld, okay? And I did some underwater welding. And I did pipe welding. No diddy. But, so, my kids, if they wanted to be welders, yeah, I could have brought them into work because they don't really have supervision like that. But what the bosses and owners would not allow is my kids to start welding without training. You just can't do it. Now, if I was a supervisor at the welding company, right, I still couldn't just, my kid just graduated high school. Okay, come and weld. It doesn't work like that. You have to be qualified. You can't just give them, the welding position. It just doesn't happen. Next point, right? So, this is what I love and hate about these LeBron fans, right? That was the biggest glazing I ever heard in my life. I got three kids, right?
I've never in my life heard somebody tell me, T-Bert, that Bronny was better than their child.
That's what I'm about to say. Like my three kids, they just human beings. They're not perfect, right? But I'm going to tell you what, I would never say Bronny is better than my kids. I'm going to keep it real. I wouldn't say no kids of nobody's is better than my kids. How much glazing can you do and be to say somebody's kid is better than your kid because they're living their dream? Just so, not y'all, this guy is just, I'm being very respectful. I just think that he's wrong. Now, let's talk about Marcus Jordan, okay? Mm-hmm. So now, let me preface it by saying it's now hate in 2024 when you speak facts, right? That's where we at in life. What are we doing? So let's talk about Marcus, right? Because we want to talk facts here, right? Let's talk some facts. Marcus Jordan never worked for Nike. Not one day, not one iota. Look it up, okay? So, caller, Ricky, you're wrong. How do you call up live on TV and be wrong? Second thing, Marcus is the CEO of his own company. That's where he works now. He is the CEO of his own company. What the heck are you talking about? Listen, the glazing has to stop. These Glazers these LeBron fans will say anything to pipe up LeBron, to pipe up Bronny, right? And then he really stuck his foot in his own mouth. He was talking about, because you had said, he's shooting 0% and he's a point guard. Oh, no. He's not a point guard, he's a two guard. That's worse. Hello, exactly. Hello, McFly. That's worse. You're proving Dom's point. So, and then he says, he was like, so Bronny can't get better? The world is waiting for Bronny to get better. Like, we're all waiting for him to get better. Like, shooting 0% from three is absolutely deplorable in the NBA. And Bronny is not qualified to be in the NBA. He's not qualified to be in the G League. And I'm going to steal a line I heard from a caller a few weeks ago. Or I think I seen it in your chat, Dom. Shout out to whoever this person made this comment. Bronny is qualified to be in the G League if the G League had a G League. period, right? Like, period. Like, this dude at 6:19 in the morning, he got me here. And, you know, I'm normally just chill, but I'm being respectful for Ricky. And Ricky, when you call up to a show or you go to a job interview or you're having a debate live on radio, please come with facts and not glaze. But I'm always respectful again. Shout out to you, Ricky, because unlike a lot of these LeBron fans and Glazers, you actually had the kahunas to call. So I'm sure, and I speak for sports here, we appreciate your support and your love for the show. Just hit the like button. If you're going to call with all this cat, do me a favor, hit the like button, bro. And I'm going to end it there, Dom.
Thank you so much, T-Bird. I really appreciate you. I mean, Ricky, he really showed out tonight. I'm disappointed that he said that, you know, Bronny was better than his children. That was really sad to me. And I just think, like, there's a point where I want LeBron James fans to look inward and say, like, hey, like, you're really willing to say anything just to be disagreeing with someone that doesn't think that LeBron is the GOAT or doesn't agree with Bronny being in the league. Like,
right. And then he gonna sit up there and say, oh, I'm a Michael Jordan fan. No, you not. Stop it. Because
there's no way, because Michael Jordan would never do something like this. So you can't be a fan of Michael Jordan and approve of something like that. You just can't.
Absolutely. And a real Michael Jordan fan, if you watch his career and you watch that era fully, you appreciate the purity and game of basketball. If you watch that whole 90s era and now you're watching LeBron's era, you see the disrespect of the game. I mean, forget that the commissioner is horrible and the players are just, they don't. You have to understand the game is being disrespected. This is not, when the game was created, it was ever meant to be. This is not a product that is watchable. The game is not being honored and is being disrespected. And all the players, whether you black or white or whatever, that paved the way for you guys to make $300 million, you're disrespecting all of their legacies. You're disrespecting the inventor of the game. You're disrespecting the logo. You're disrespecting all your previous peers. So, bro, to say you're a Jordan fan, nah, I ain't buying it.
It's crazy, right? But
got you, Don. I know you got topics to go to. Love you, little sis. Talk to you.
I love you too, T-Bert.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, guys, what I am going to do before we head over to the next topic is I am going to shout out the super chats. I'm sorry I didn't get to those sooner. Looks like we have one more caller from Arizona. Let's see who this is. Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice.
Yo, what's good, Dom? This is Q from Opinion Stated.
Oh, hey Q, what's going on? It's time for you to cook. Let's go. Speak your mind. What's on your heart?
Look, I'm so glad that I got a chance to get through. But look, Ricky.
Oh,
so
man,
first
Ricky
and foremost,
bottomed out with that. I really,
man, Ricky came over
took me out. He woke me up tonight. Sheesh.
Yeah, that's so crazy. But look, Ricky is the perfect and prime example of why voices in the independent media space are necessary. Because we have to speak out against the craziness that's happening, because if we don't, then you get people like Ricky, who claims to be a Jordan fan, but it's just, for some reason, they're all caught up in this fake, oh, it's a father-son thing, it's a moment. Like, the moment's past, bro. We're over.
We saw it already.
Yeah, Ricky actually tried to insert, but you were frying him too hard. He couldn't even get it out, but he was trying to insert, like, y'all on Bronny's head, basically, and Bronny ain't even been around. He been out of the view for 2 weeks. See, they think 2 weeks is enough time for us to forget that this is all bullshit. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, Q, is that I'm angry that he hasn't been around for 2 weeks. I'm angry that he faked this injury. We've been talking about Bronny. We're all wondering, where the hell is he?
Where is he?
Why isn't he getting? And look, when someone said something about, oh, like, I can train, like, somebody I think in the comments said that he is a trained basketball player. Okay, he needs more training. He is not ready.
Yeah, look,
Look, so that's the thing that kind of fries me these days. You know, Bronny did not just start playing basketball. He's been playing basketball literally his entire life.
And it's terrible.
So not only has he been playing basketball his entire life, but he's been working out with the best of the best. Trent's daddy's a billionaire. He's got all the money in the world to have him train with the best people. So you're telling me that we're going to circumvent just the normal process of learning the game of basketball. We're going to accelerate that by having them work out with the best of the best. I mean, all hours, the days of the night. I know at one point they had a gym at their home. I don't know if they still have a gym inside of the mansion where they live, but bro, you got access to basketball 24/7. This kid is just not good. He's just not a good basketball player for this level. That doesn't mean he's a bad person. And I always want to point that out. Like I grew up in an era where, and it still happens present day in the NBA, where trash talking is just trash talking. I heard LeBron James call Trump during Trump's last administration a bum. Man, we call people bums. You a bum, bro. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. And even if you were good, people got in your ass about what you were doing on the court. This kid Bronny is not ready. You know what I mean? But if we keep allowing the craziness to pervade, you know what I mean, and mainstream, and then we get the voices in the independent media space also, Gil, etc. It's like, man, enough is enough, bro. We got to get these people to stop. Like, knock it off. There needs to be more truth told. You know what I mean? We got to hold people's feet to the fire, hold them accountable, and let them know also, man, that our heads don't screw on and off. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I know I am adept enough at what I'm viewing to understand that I can speak out against it, and it's not hate. Right. I don't hate Bronny. I'm saying he's not ready, and he's also taking a guaranteed contract and spot from somebody who is more deserving. So to kind of back up and fact check Ricky also, in case he's still listening, he's not just crying in the car. Quincy Oliveri got skipped over in this present draft. So this idea that he was already been in the league for 2 years is baloney. You know what I mean? He got skipped over in this draft. And Bronny, he got skipped. He told the story, and I detailed this in a previous episode on my channel. But because I played just an interview that he gave to Laker Nation, and where he talked about his entire process, the entire process of how they even got to the point of accepting on the final day of, or early morning of the second day of the draft. They sat down with his representation, his mom, dad at the table, and they signed, that Exhibit 10 contract for Quincy Oliveri to play for the Lakers in Summer League. They hadn't even drafted Bronny yet. The second half of the draft hadn't even taken place. And moreover, I can kind of just point to how, and I didn't really think about this. It took me time just laying up because I'm a night owl. Obviously, I'm in Phoenix, so it's 4:27 a.m. here.
I'm in the Bay Area, so we're not far from each other. You're an hour ahead of me. Off, right? Yeah.
But I'm laid back and I'm thinking, I'm like, yo, the NBA didn't even really rock with this whole Bronny James situation. And the proof of that is that they didn't even invite this kid nor his family, being, in Stephen A's words, the James family is the first family of the NBA. The NBA didn't even think enough about this kid's talent to invite them to sit in the green room on this made up day 2 of the NBA draft that they rolled out. He wasn't even present. Wow. So that lets you know that the NBA wasn't even really on board with this. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just don't like this idea of allowing people to get away with things like this whole nepotism angle and everything else, because you give them an inch, they take a yard. They start trying to tell us like, oh, Rick, he's qualified to be in the NBA. Yeah, because we've allowed it, because it's been allowed. But the kid is not qualified to be a professional basketball player. He does not meet
all the training in the world. Maybe he needed to play, somewhere in a New York City playground or something. I don't know.
No. He definitely, when you were doing the breakdown earlier, and kudos to you for that, the breakdown of the lack of development. Bronny skipped a lot of stages of development also. So it stands to reason that that Bronny would have been accelerated through this entire space. He's been given the silver spoon treatment his entire life. LeBron maybe donated to this school, donated to that school to get him there, etc. But that the process of development for Bronny, the blacktop for us was training ground, proving ground. And you had to get out there, man, and you knew, like, even we would pull up at Maryland. I'm from DC, so we would pull up at Maryland U, places like that where college basketball players were playing and some street legendary folks were playing. We knew that if you stood there for 30, 45 minutes to an hour and waited to play, the last thing you were going to do was get out there and not play your ass off because you did not want to come off the court. We need to win 3-4 straight games, and then we could lose because of fatigue because we just ran the table 4 games in a row. But Bronny skipped that entire process of his development. So he it's overwhelming for him. Of course it is. And the cameras would be, fascinating, for him because he's grown up around the glamour and the glitz and all this silliness his whole life. That's stuff that's not real. His dad is detached from reality, and so too is the kid. LeBron James, I keep saying, I'm going to stop calling him Bronny because it's almost like they're trying to hide behind the nickname instead of just calling him what it says on his birth certificate, which is LeBron James Jr. Right. LeBron James Jr. is trash. He's fucking trash.
And it's just the truth. And we're going to keep telling the truth on our channels, and nobody's going to stop us from doing that because we're not delusional, right? We can't our eyes are not seeing that Bronny's good. We can't keep lying about it. And I don't know why ESPN and the La Media continues to do that. So thank you so much for calling Q. You're awesome. Your channel is awesome. Guys, please go and check out Q on Opinion Stated. His channel is amazing. Like, share, and subscribe.
You. Keep doing your thing.
Thanks so much, Q.
All right.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys. So now I really am going to read these super chats, okay? All right. So the first one from Nick T. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Nick T. Sports T. Melo's a liar. Go back last season. JR and Iman were with the Knicks. They were riding the bench with the Knicks, and the Knicks was losing before they got traded to the Cavs. LeBron saved them. You heard me say that I didn't believe that Shump and JR were going to be difference makers for the Knicks because they weren't. So they weren't difference makers on our team. I didn't think that they were going to win a title at all. Nobody thought that in New York. We were just happy that they were watchable. So I hear you. I'm not going to say that Carmelo Anthony is a liar, but I do think that he, as well as Iman Shumpert and other people, they're tired of the La Media, and they want their story heard. They want their voices heard. Now that they're no longer in the NBA, now that they're no longer under the chokehold of Clutch Sports and LeBron James, they want their voices heard. It's time to tell the truth. Prodigal, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. You're back standing on business. Sure am. And I'm not going to back down. I'm going to be on the Lakers' ass all season, as well as LeBron and Bronny's ass all season, as long as they continue to lie to the American public and cheat. So as long as they continue to lie, cheat, and steal contracts and be purse snatchers from folks like Quincy Oliveri, I'm going to continue to be on their ass, period. Nino, Action Jack Jackson, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. You can't be a fan of both players? What has debate shows done to y'all? I think that you can absolutely be a fan of both players, and it's okay to say that Michael Jordan is great, and it's okay to say that LeBron is great, but it's okay to say one of them is not great if you don't think so. Brandon loves sports TV. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. These LeBronites are a lost cause. When they're delusional like that, it's concerning. You begin to question, like, at what lengths are you willing to go? Like, what are you willing to do for LeBron? Another $1.99 super chat from Brandon loves sports TV. Bronny is a gutless coward. I struggle with calling Bronny those kinds of names just because I don't know how he grew up. I don't know what he's being pressured to do by his dad or in his family. So LeBron wants Bronny playing with him for his GOAT case. And he's not going to stop until, the vast majority of people believe that he is the GOAT. And so Bronny is a pawn in LeBron's devious, deceptive plot. And Bronny is also complicit because he likes being a star. He likes being a celebrity, right? He likes being an influencer. He likes that he doesn't actually have to work hard. He doesn't actually have to play well for him to have sold out jerseys all over the place. He didn't have to do anything to get an $8 million 4-year contract from the Lakers. He's accomplished nothing. So I think he likes it, but I don't want to call him names to this extent, but I hear you and I understand because he should have the courage to push back to his father and say, Dad, let me play in the G League. Let me earn at least part of this. Let me show people that I can do this. Yeah, you gave me this. You gave me this opportunity. Let me show the American public that I deserve to be here. Because most people blow the opportunities that they're given. And that's exactly what Bronny's doing. He's blowing the opportunity that he was given. But I do want to thank you guys for the super chats. Really appreciate it. What I am going to do is move on to the next topic, and that is the LA Lakers. And so, obviously, the Lakers have been eliminated from the in-season tournament. Last year, they won it. This year, they're eliminated. Prior to this game, they had a chance because they beat the Spurs, who were depleted. Popovich wasn't there. I mean, all they really have is Wemby. Chris Paul is definitely not a star or a superstar, or he's at the very end, the bitter end. LeBron James, of course, he was stat padding in that game. In the fourth quarter, he just needed his 9th triple-double of the season. They were already winning that game. The game was pretty much decided in the third quarter. Stephen A. Smith decides to call out the stat padding, which I thought was really interesting. He wasn't impressed, and I'm going to play that soundbite for you, and then we'll discuss the loss with the Thunder.
In the association, let's get it. The Knicks lost by 15 to the Mavs last night, despite Dallas being down 3 starters, including Luka Doncic and Klay Thompson. Stephen A., what are your thoughts on your Knicks right now?
Well, how can it be anything but disappointing considering what you just highlighted? Luka Doncic, Klay Thompson, and Daniel Gafford is out, and you still ramrod the Knicks the way that you did. Knicks couldn't shoot the ball in the ocean in the first half yesterday. They shot just 26% from the field. I know that Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson ended up with their numbers, but they were far from efficient. And OG Anunoby, just after dropping 40 against Denver Monday night, shows up and stinks up the joint with 3 of 15 shooting last night. So that wasn't good. In the end, there's levels to this. And the Dallas Mavericks with Kyrie Irving showed that they are on a different level. The Knicks got to get it together. Minnesota isn't the only team struggling since the trade. The Knicks are 24th in defensive efficiency. Field goal percentage defense, they're 22nd. 3-point percentage defense, they're 27th. I don't know those numbers when it comes to a Tom Thibodeau team. Defense is his wizardry. I don't understand it. They got to get it together, but I believe they ultimately do.
Yeah, they will, Stephen A. Let's stay in the East. Trae Young had a career-high 22 assists to go along with 20 points as the Hawks handed the Cavs just their 2nd loss of the season.
Okay. So, Stephen A. Smith, I think he's out on LeBron, and he'll be raining a shitstorm on him this year. I can feel it. He doesn't like that LeBron is hiding from social media after all the damage that he's caused. So he's going to target him. He's going to target him this year. Just like I'm on his ass, Stephen A. Smith is on LeBron's ass. And I don't think he's going to be giving him credit until Rich Paul apologizes. He needs an apology from Clutch Sports because of how much he's been supporting them. And look how they decided to turn their backs and call out the national media. So now fast forward to Black Friday's game against the Thunder. I'm going to play the post-game press conference from JJ Redick, and it's a little bit long, but we'll get through it.
JJ, you had mentioned in San Antonio about the kind of the end of quarter execution. I think in the first 3 quarters, it was 14-1 in the final 3 minutes. Are you seeing anything these last couple of games, or is it just about the late quarter execution that's been consistent and not working as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're just in a tough spot sometimes in terms of just reviewing stuff, going over stuff, showing stuff pregame. They're going to trap at the end of quarter to get the ball back. We want the last shot. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sometimes you're in a tough spot. Yeah. You just got to keep doing it, and we'll get it. We'll learn from it.
Got it. Is there a larger takeaway from this specific game where obviously you're in it, you come back and it late?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is we have a lot to build on defensively over the last 2 games. That was as connected as our group has been on that end of the floor since the first game of the season. Just, really, really outstanding job with a lot of the stuff we talked about. Don't know the exact total, but there were, half dozen to a dozen plays that just shot us in the foot, even before the late game stuff. We played well enough and hard enough to win against the best team in the West. So there's definitely good stuff.
JJ, did Max think there was a foul to give him?
I'm not sure. He looked at me and I gave him the coverage call. And I guess he interpreted that as foul. But obviously I was yelling the coverage call.
What kind of information did you get on Austin at halftime? What was your vantage point on that play? And then kind of how did you think he moved out there after a pretty hard fall?
Vantage point on the play was, an airborne player, and he made a play on the ball, and that's why I stopped dunking very early in my life. Clear that, he couldn't go in the first half. He's tough as nails, and I thought, he moved fine. It wasn't really in the flow of the game because of that and not getting to start the second half. So, but I thought it, he'll be in some pain tomorrow, and we'll just have to kind of assess going forward.
JJ, on the defensive side, it felt like AD was just everywhere. 4 blocks, switching on to Shea, switching on to their perimeter guys. What did you see from him in terms of his engagement activity? It felt like even more so than the average game.
Yeah. Guarded a lot of isolations. Thought he was fantastic in isolation. You're inevitably, especially against a team with 2 superstars and guys that redrive, closeouts and redrive shifts, you're inevitably going to get beat. And I thought his awareness and just intent to be that sort of backline anchor that we've talked about was great tonight. They're a really good defensive team. There were a lot of stuff that we tried to run, and we got to be better. Me, coaches, all that stuff. Just finding him more scoring opportunities against this team in particular. They did a really good job with him.
JJ, kind of to that point, you mentioned that you guys as coaches can set him up more. He only finished, I think, with 10 field goal attempts. I think maybe seasonal outside of, I think, that one game that he had to leave early. What specifically were you seeing from the Thunder that kind of led to that?
Clearly a lot of attention to detail on the game plan around him, to be honest with you. Just in terms of a lot of the similar actions we run, not necessarily, we have a bunch of different ways to get him the ball. They're not necessarily one play, and they had prepared well. And then, when he was able to get the ball in his normal spots, just the amount of bodies. But again, the second straight game that a team has done that, and he's been a willing passer. Again, 7 assists. He didn't score the ball like he normally scores the ball, but he had an outstanding game.
I've asked you about your team's physicality a couple times.
Okay, guys, you get the gist of this. I mean, I watched the video of JJ Redick, and I have to tell you, the guy really seems like a potential cokehead to me. He's either a cokehead or a pathological liar. He's consistently playing with his nose. I mean, look at him. Look at this guy. This is how he starts the press conference. He's doing this repeatedly as I'm watching him over a 6-minute span. He can't keep his hand off his nose. Then he's like looking at his wedding ring or his manicure repeatedly. Like, this is what he's doing every time he's asked a question, every time he's pausing to try to figure out what lie he's going to tell us. He just doesn't seem like a head coach of any team in the NBA. He just does not seem like he's built for this job. We know that everything coming out of his mouth is a lie. He talked about why he doesn't dunk, why you stopped dunking in the early heights of your career. I mean, you're not a basketball player, JJ Redick. You were overrated in college. You never won there, and you also never won in the NBA. You don't even look like you could dunk. Look at those hands. Do those look like hands of somebody that can dunk the ball? Not to me. But yeah, he can't stop. Knows this. He's like, what's down here? Nothing. Answer the question. Every time he answers a question, he wipes his nose with his hand. I would never want to shake his hand. Totally disgusting. He's squinting, playing with his nose, looking at his manicure or his wedding ring. He's not wearing a watch, so he's not glancing at the time. Who is this guy? Definitely doesn't seem to be ready to be a head coach of any team in the NBA, let alone a highly visible one such as the Lakers. Pathetic. The biggest coaching mistake that JJ Redick made was having LeBron on the floor for 38 goddamn minutes. He was playing like pure shit, and of course, they didn't address that post game. They talked about Anthony Davis and why did he only take 10 shots? Why the hell is LeBron taking more shots than Anthony Davis? He scored 12 points and had 5 turnovers. LeBron is a turnover machine. He's the king of turnovers. I think he's got about 70 plus turnovers this season so far. At the rate he's going, if he doesn't fake an injury, he might hit 250, 300. How crazy is that? JJ Redick said it was okay, no problem to turn the ball over in critical moments of the game. LeBron did it in game deciding moments. When he realized that OKC was too good for him, I mean, even puny ass Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who, by the way, played like shit in the FIBA games, was just too good for LeBron. SGA was giving LeBron fits, blocking his shots, boxing him out for rebounds. He looked frustrated out there, LeBron. He looked super frustrated. They had him traveling with the ball, jumping in the air with nowhere to go. He looked like a larger version of Russell Westbrook out there. And it looked even more alarming because of LeBron James's size. Sit your big ass on the bench and do us all a favor and announce your retirement. There was a point in the game where he collided with Hartenstein mid-air, and he was hitting the rib in the air. You see him holding his rib in air, and he falls. He lands very safely, totally fine. And then he's on the floor for a lengthy moment, wincing with his knee after he's grabbing here. There was no impact to the knee, not in the air, not when he hit the ground, nothing. LeBron is gearing up to fake an injury, guys. I'm calling it now. He's gearing up to fake an injury and sit down and rest and get in the lab for that new juice, that Balco. LeBron is always trying to deceive us. The devious deception that LeBron engages in knows no bounds. He doesn't care to make a spectacle of his own child, let alone lie about being injured, because he knows he really can't play 82 games without looking like shit out there. Is this how he really wants to leave the game? Looking crazy as hell and washed up? Inspire or retire, LeBron. This is getting old. You're not inspiring us with this Bronny shit. You're not inspiring us with your turnovers that are like out of control. You're not inspiring us with by bricking mid-range and shots from 3 and missing layups. You're not inspiring us by running full head of steam and charging in the lane. That's not basketball. Reduce your role on the team so the Lakers can actually win and then announce your retirement. We don't want to see this garbage anymore. I'll read some comments and then I'll move to the next topic. LeJuice time. Facts. I'll read. I think we got a super chat in here. Thank you so much, Jason, follower of Christ. I really appreciate the 1999 super chat. You are definitely helping the channel to grow and expand. Thank you. Let's see. What else do we have here? Ticket said it best. What did Ticket say? We're tired of his flopping, tired of him capping for tomato cans, and tired of his ugly, big, brick-ass shoes. I am weak. You guys are just killing it today in the chat. Turnovers, poor box, plus turnovers, poor box plus minus. No defense whatsoever. This is their so-called GOAT. Notorious Juba, thank you so much for that comment. I mean, look, we had a caller call in that said that Bronny was better than their son. So anything is possible. Ric Flair isn't the dirtiest player in the game, but Bron is. That is a fact. Devious and deceptive. Those shoes are for astronauts. Big, ugly shoes meant for walking on moon rocks. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There were a couple of LeBrons that I would wear for basketball. I wore the 9s. I wore the 12s. I loved the 12s. They were very lightweight. The 8s I really enjoyed. The LeBron Elites were not that bad because they typically had the air unit in them. So it provided a lot of cushion, especially when you're running and jumping. So LeBron sneakers, I mean, I can't imagine playing in Jordans. I know that they were like re-engineered for him, but my God, those ones are just so flat. I can't believe he played in those. He's the GOAT for that. I love you too, Maraviti. Thank you so much for your comment. Psychedelic Ball, we love you. Sports T, you look like Latina Gwen Stefani. I'll take it. Okay. If you like it, I love it. Jason, follower of Christ, crazy. LaWinery James, facts. Hey, Omega Red. 6'9" was on fire. 76 divided by 16 equals 4.75 turnovers a game. Pathetic, but he is y'all GOAT. Is kind of crazy. The LeBron 10s in 2012 were okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that they were just okay as well. Nothing to write home about. I'm like a fan of the 8. I love the LeBron 1s. No, not the 1s. I love the 2s and the 3s, the 8, the 9, and the 12s. The 19s, I got a couple pairs because they were on sale, but they're already dogged. Okay. The Miami Vice joints, the only good bronze sneakers, those were fire. The Miami ones, the 9s, oh, amazing. The fans love the truth, and LeBron has overstayed his welcome. We want Bronny, Rookie of the Year, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Hi, Nino. Talk to me nice.
How you doing?
I'm so good. How was your Thanksgiving?
Man, I was at work.
I'm sorry. I had to work the next day. Oh no, Nino dropped. All right, Nino, I'll wait like another minute for you to call back. Maybe you'll have service, I'm not sure. I love you guys too. Seriously, the chat, you guys are so engaging. You're amazing. Hi, Nino. Sorry I lost you. Talk to me nice.
Yeah, I want to give you props on something. I think you said though. I'm gonna give you your spot. You said it. I don't think a lot of you some of this. I don't think they really be watching the games. I think they just be talking. But LeBron actually trying to play defense this year. Now, is he a great defender at 40? No. But you said something, and I think I be watching him, and I think you're right. When I seen it, I thought about it. You said
He can't play defense and run offense at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And he trying to play defense this year, and I think he's killing the O. So I think either this year, maybe next year, I think it's over with. I think y'all gonna get what y'all finally asked for. I think he out of there. I think we gone after this one.
It's just time for
I think he's
LeBron to
taking too much toll on him.
I would love to see LeBron pass the torch to another player that he really respects. And, you know, like, we need other people to shine. It can't just be about LeBron, especially. I mean, it's just 22 years of like the narratives, the excuses. I'm over it. I'm a little exhausted.
I mean, the players be shining. Now, you watch basketball, so.
I mean, I do, but like, even when Anthony Davis has been carrying the Lakers, do you agree?
Yeah, of course. But
So
Anthony Davis is not a superstar, though.
He's been carrying them, and all we're doing is talking about Bronny
in
the media. So when he did, I think he scored 36 and 15. Why isn't Anthony Davis a superstar? Why do you feel like he's not a superstar when he won a title in 2020? I'm sorry, you disconnected from my wireless, but I just want to understand, why is Anthony Davis not a superstar when he won a title? What's the qualifications from a superstar for being a superstar?
He's a great basketball player, but you can't make a superstar. Anthony Edwards, he can be a superstar. Wemby, I don't know. Now he gonna have superstar potential.
But what's
Kobe.
the criteria though for a superstar? Is it your accomplishments? Is it your cachet and charisma? What is it?
That I was looking for a word. Your cachet and charisma you gotta have that along with the talent. But it takes more than talent. Tim Duncan, we call him a superstar as basketball fan. Mm-hmm. But if you think about Tim Duncan, you ain't gonna call him a superstar if you're not a lot of people is not real basketball people. So they not gonna make Tim Duncan a superstar like his real worth. KG was a superstar.
So here's the thing. Here's what I think a superstar is. I think a superstar is someone who is a franchise player, a first option on their team. They also have had to at least get to the finals at minimum, and they need to have a signature shoe deal. So if you don't have a signature shoe deal, if you have not made it to the finals, if you're not a first option on your team or a franchise player, then you definitely are not a superstar. Okay, Nino, I'm going to jump actually to the next topic, but thank you so much for your call. I really appreciate you. Okay. Okay, guys, we are going to move. We have one more topic left, and that's JJ Redick. Okay. So we've talked about LeBron's devious plans, right? We've talked about that quite a bit. And it's hard not for that to lead to JJ Ridiculous. Tim Hardaway was on Mark Jackson's podcast. He was having a blast, Tim Hardaway. Oh my God. He was talking shit. And he was reminded of JJ Redick's comments about 80s and 90s players. He didn't hold back. I want to play it for you guys. I have to play it for you guys because it's really good. But first, I want to take you back to JJ's firemen and plumbers comment that he made about guys from the 80s and 90s. JJ Redick he pretty much does not belong as a coach of the Lakers or a coach of any NBA team. Tim Hardaway mentioned the plumbers and firemen comment that JJ made in a fiery debate with Chris Russo. It was extremely tone deaf and shows his lack of respect for the game and those that came before him that built this league. It obviously went viral and the old heads were pissed. I've talked about this in one of my earlier videos when I first started my channel, and I've played this before, but I want you guys to hear it again because it's shocking to me that after something like this, he could have had a job in LA or anywhere in the NBA. This should have been like the nail in his coffin. And we should have never seen him on ESPN again either. So I want you guys to hear from the late, great Jerry West. He was responding to JJ Redick's fireman and plumber comments about players of the past.
Appreciate it all the time. A couple of more questions.
Wait. Hold on, guys. One second, guys.
JJ Redick, current player who just recently retired, said that Bob Cousy played against firemen and plumbers, and Bob came on and wasn't too pleased. And you played in that era, and those guys set the table for us to be where we are today. And I was just interested in your thoughts on comments like that about your generation and the generations that paved the way.
Well, obviously the game is completely different. The athletes are completely different. And I know JJ just a little bit. He's a very smart kid and everything. Look, tell me what his career looked like. What did he do that determined games? He averaged what? He averaged 12 points a game in the league. Somewhere along the way, numbers count. At that point in time, the players aren't what they used to be. JJ certainly wasn't going to guard the elite players. And so you can nitpick anyone. And I'm not, the only reason I'm talking about him is because he was not an elite player, but he was a very good player. But he had a place on a team because of his ability to shoot the ball. But those players at that era, and again, that was when I started to see the difference in athleticism. My era, I was an athlete way before my time. I had a huge vertical. Probably no one in the league was much faster than me. And certainly the competitive part of it, I would put myself among any player that played the game. Today also, winning is all that matters. That's what drove me. And I subtly got better every year. We didn't have the facilities to get better. We had to work in the summers to support our family. But AJ should be very thankful that he's made as much money as he's made. And Bob Cousy, who I played against a couple of years, not very long, I just think it's very disrespectful myself.
It was very disrespectful, quite frankly. And I mean, what did JJ's career look like? A choker who did nothing in the finals when he played for Orlando? JJ Redick is trash. He averaged 12 points. Who the hell are you to criticize those guys that came before you in that manner when you had better resources? You had better facilities to go to. You didn't have to work in the summer because you were rich. And that's the best that you could deliver? Averaging 12 points and never made a name for yourself doing anything in the NBA? Now, guys, we can fast forward to last week when Tim Hardaway sat down with Mark Jackson. I'll play this clip for you guys. It is a little long, but it is a good one. So bear with me.
Appreciate it all the time. A couple of more questions. What would Tim Hardaway Sr., healthy and whole, average in today's game?
Oh, 40. Easy. Easy. I get to shoot 15 threes a game. I'm like Steph Curry. I'm like Steph Curry right now. It'd be hard to deal with me right now. All the I had, it'd be hard to deal with me right now. Every 40, easy.
And the crazy thing, there's young kids, and I say this respectfully, that's watching saying, oh, that's just an old dude talking trash. No, this is Tim Hardaway Sr., Hall of Famer, had all the tricks on the offensive end. he would get numbers in today's where you can't put hands on him and he has all space in front of him. He put on a clinic nightly.
Nightly. Nightly.
And speaking of, I don't know if you know what Anthony Edwards said, who's a great basketball player who has an incredible future in front of him and is going to be the face of the league at some point, if not, real soon. But
Love watching them play.
Question the 90s players and how they couldn't play today. I totally disagree with the guys we faced and played against.
Totally disagree. Totally disagree with him. Love how he plays. Love watching him play. He is going to be the face of the league. I think playing with those guys in the Olympics helped him out tremendously. But man, when he said that, we was watered down. Are y'all your mind? We was watered down. He wasn't even born then. How you know what it was? You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even born. When was he born? 2001? 2002? He wasn't even born. How you know what was watered down and what wasn't watered down? And then JJ Redick. What did he say? He said that we was mediocre or something. What did he say? I don't even know what he said. But
janitors.
Huh?
He said something about janitors and custodians.
Yeah. Man, please, man. He couldn't even play back then. We wouldn't in the Park District. We wouldn't even have him playing back then. We wouldn't even have him on the court. He could only dribble. That's all he could do was dribble. He couldn't even. The only thing he could do is shoot. He couldn't even dribble the basketball, man. Come on, man. I just tell you this, man. They irked me when nobody never played in that era. How you gonna talk about that era? You never played in that era. So you can't talk about that era. You never been in the physicality that we've been in. You never grew up how we grew up. You didn't go through the things that we grew up doing, what we had to endure when we was growing up. You don't know what made us. A lot of guys are athletic. You telling me Dominique wasn't athletic? You telling me that of course Michael Jordan or it's a lot Junior Bridgman or them other guys wasn't athletic? Man, there was a bunch of guys that was athletic and could play.
Can you imagine having to be defended by Alvin Robinson?
Oh, man, please. Alvin Robinson being defended by him? Man, one time he picked me up. He said, oh, yeah, the dog. You got the dog on you now. You know how he be like, dog. I said, okay, I'm going to tell you this, what I'm going to do to the dog. I'm not going to even say nothing. After the game, he's like, yeah, I see it. He said, yeah, that's real, huh? I say, yeah. He said, okay. he wasn't talking about the dog no more. But yeah, man, them guys that never played in our era, and they talk about our era, I'm like, you know what? Y'all need to stop that. Y'all need to really seriously stop that, because it was a lot of bad in the 80s and the 90s that could really, really, really play. Yep.
Last question for me. Who is the GOAT?
Oh, Michael Jordan, no question. Michael Jordan's the GOAT, no question. He's been there 6 times and he refused to lose 6 times. When he put his mind to playing defense, he went out there and played defense. He don't take no days off. He didn't lack a day's go stuff each and every day. He went out there and he played for the fans, and he gave a damn about playing 82 games too. He didn't take off. Load management. Michael said, I'm gonna bust your in practice, and then I'm gonna go out here and bust your in the game. Yeah. But that's the way we was, man. So no disrespect to LeBron, no disrespect, and out of sight, out of mind, Kobe Bryant. If I, to me, 1 and 1A. 1 is Michael Jordan, 1A is Kobe. Point blank. That's the way I see it.
Last question for me, for real this time.
For real.
All right, guys. Tim Hardaway said what he said. He's standing on business. Period. JJ Redick wouldn't have even been able to play with those guys back then. He said he can't even dribble. He could only shoot the ball. And quite frankly, JJ Redick wouldn't have had the space to do that in that time. No one respects JJ Redick. The media went on a campaign for him to call him brilliant and to say how smart he was. He's a complete fool. I don't respect him at all. Setting up Darvin Ham to get fired when he's already failed. JJ Redick has already failed as a coach. He failed to deliver that second in-season tournament banner. They didn't even make it to the last round. They got cooked by the Thunder. And they've been getting cooked by any good team, any half-decent team. They've been getting cooked by teams that don't even have their best player on the floor. JJ Redface hasn't made any decisions on the floor that led to winning, in my opinion. He has horrible substitution patterns, leaving players on the floor that are stinking it up, such as LeBron James. Every game, he has egg on his face. And it seems like he probably does a little coke after the game, hence wiping his nose constantly. I do want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Would Tim Hardaway Sr. average 40 in this league today? Do you guys believe that? In today's era, would he average 40 easy? What do you think? Is he capping for clicks? I'll read some comments and we'll open the phone lines up. I have time for one more call and then we're going to end the live, guys. So let's see. There's no more delusional on this earth than NBA players from the 90s. You know, I think that I don't think it's a delusion. I think that they feel so disrespected. They have to go all the way to the other end of the earth when they're, deciding to criticize, they're going to exaggerate. They're going to puff their chest, right? So I think that's just like where it comes from is the, just the bravado, the ego. Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice, World Breaker. Nice to hear from you, buddy.
Man, what's good, John? How y'all doing today?
Come on, you got to do it. Come on, let's go.
You already know who it is, man. It's your boy, the World Breaker, the #1 basketball fan ever to live. Ever. Okay?
I love it. All right, tell me what's on your heart. Do you think Tim Hardaway Sr. was capping for clicks?
Look, I'm going to just tell you like this. The same way y'all feel about us is the same way we feel about y'all. Okay? Every era think they better than the past. Just like the 70s think they better than the 60s and the 50s. Then the 80s think they better than them. The 90s think they... Look, at this point, the cycle just need to die. And people just need to recognize the evolution in the game. Okay? And I'm glad you played Jerry West's comment. Because to be honest with you, to some degree, he kind of proved what JJ was talking about when he admitted that they weren't full-time players and that they weren't training as hard in the offseason because they had to work. I'm just saying. Like,
what he admitted was that JJ Redick had more time to be JJ Redick. What he was admitting was that JJ Redick didn't have that job in the summer. So he got to train all summer long to still be mediocre. To still be probably less than that, actually. He wasn't even he wasn't even really average. What he said was that he was way ahead of his time. So I think that like what Jerry West does is he's fair. I think, he criticized his, the players of his generation fairly. He spoke on them the way that they deserve to be. And the only point that you made, I agree with you that right now, because of the battle of the eras, basically, I believe that right now, like what you said is true, where, old heads feel not good about the young people and the young people feel the same way about us. And like, I get that. The only disagreement that I have is that I don't think that 80s players were disrespecting 70s players and 60s players. Like that wasn't the case. back then what they would say, and they were very humble and they were very respectful to their, to their big homie. Everybody has a big homie. Everybody has somebody that you take over from, and you're supposed to respect that person. You're not supposed to disrespect them. And I think that's what's causing a lot of the problem. Even when they criticize you, like in your family, let's say your aunt or your uncle, they've never like said something you didn't really like.
I mean, I respect their opinion, but
no, I'm asking you though, has like a family member that was older than you, an auntie, somebody that you respected, somebody that was much older. Have you ever heard the term respecting your elders? I'm sure you have, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right. And you do, right? So like, you're not out there talking back to your grandmother.
Right.
Right. So like, you don't like that. That's all, but that's the point that I'm trying to make. Like, even though they might be criticizing them, let them criticize and just, be the bigger person. Take the high road. You're playing now. You're making millions of dollars that they broke their back for you to get. You can be respectful. You can say, you know what? It's okay that they have that opinion. The league has changed and there's been changes in the league. And, I didn't compete against them, so I wouldn't know. I didn't even watch them, so I wouldn't know. But, I appreciate their opinion. I can hear that. Like, I can respect those things. That I can respect that. You don't need to address everything. Have you addressed every single thing that came your way, World Breaker? That somebody said about you?
Probably not.
Of course not.
Oh, no,
if something's not true,
yeah.
you don't
Yeah,
always
but-
need to reply. So I think
Right,
what really
but-
started this, I'm going to be very honest with you, what started it was Charles Barkley saying that LeBron didn't want to compete, and the soft comment. So the idea that, today's league is soft, and guys coming out and saying that, it attacked their manhood. So people felt disrespected as men. And so that's where it came. And that came from the old head side. So I believe that they kind of started it by coming out and saying that today's guys, that they're soft. It wasn't just that they criticized the game. They said that they were soft. And I agree with them, but it really hurt their feelings. And so when you do that, you have to expect that they're going to clap back and say something. And then it just hasn't stopped since then. But I wish that somebody would decide to put an end to it, because it's kind of ruining the fraternity. And it's now everybody it's siloed by era. And really all of these people should be coming together. But today's league, starting with LeBron James and that Charles Barkley incident, it really divided people. And that's the problem that I see.
Okay. Yeah, count respond?
What did you say?
I said, go ahead and count respond.
Of course you can.
Yeah. And you're definitely right about that. But what the older generation got to understand too is, in order to get respect, you got to give it out too. Because honestly, today's players face way more criticism. We got way more media out there than y'all had back in the day. And
There's
to some degree, what you saying
kinds of
about that?
media. So there's different kinds of media, World Breaker, but there's not necessarily less stress. There wasn't less stress back then. People had the media, the paparazzi jumping out of bushes. Now you have protections against that. Paparazzi cannot follow you around and kill you like they did Princess Diana. But that's what they used to do. It led to people dying. So like when you say that, there's way more of this, it was just different. It was the newspaper. Imagine waking up in the morning and you're on the cover of every single newspaper on every corner of every street. That's not easy either. So it's different, and you didn't live through that. So to say that today is harder, you just don't know. Everybody's circumstances are different. That's all I'm saying, is the circumstances are different, and we really need to stop comparing, because it's not fair, because they didn't face these circumstances today, and today's players didn't face the circumstances of the past. And we all need to have respect for each other, but it's tough when certain things are happening.
And at the same time, though, y'all didn't have no Instagram, no YouTube, no like literally people like you. Think about how many people watch you, and you're considered small.
Yes, but
we
that's
definitely
what I'm
got way
trying to
more
tell-
eyes on
I'm
us
trying
and
to
more
tell
criticism.
you, World Breaker, it was just a different
It's
kind
not
of
comparable
media.
to newspapers.
Yes, it is comparable because it's not just newspapers. That's what everybody read. So if everybody is consuming a newspaper, if everybody's consuming the radio, so before it wasn't YouTube and internet, it was radio. Everybody had a little radio that they walked around with, and that's how you got to listen to your gossip. And yes, players got torn up. Michael Jordan, he was accused of killing his father through gambling.
Dominique, do you think more people read newspapers than they use social media?
You want to know what I think? I think that more people showed up to games, and I think that more people actually attacked, harassed players. I think players back then had it much harder. I think it was much harder to be a black NBA player in the 60s. Imagine going up for a layup and the announcer is saying, that nigger needs to learn that he can't just go in the lane. Imagine that.
Right.
I'm just saying players today don't have that. They don't have the blatant racism that they had in the 60s. Bill Russell was literally physically fighting against that. He was marching. He was a civil rights activist, but yet LeBron gets credit for social activism when really it's guys like Bill Russell that, that really did those things. And they were really out there physically doing the work themselves. I have never seen LeBron out there doing any work for anybody. I'm just being really honest with you. So you're telling me that, social media, look, I think that social media has contributed to mental health issues for the NBA players. I think that there's a whole new set of challenges because now they have mental health issues, whereas that was always a thing. Mental health is always something that was important, but it wasn't important in the 60s, 70s, 80s because people were just trying to figure out how to stay alive as a black person in the NBA. Today, they don't have that struggle. That's all that I'm trying to tell you. There was different circumstances. There was radio. There was television that people watched in black and white, but people ran home to consume that media, just like people are running home to consume whatever media that they're consuming today. It's just different. And I don't think that people can sit here and say this was harder or this was worse when all the circumstances change and they are different per the era. But people today disrespecting a time that they don't know about. That's the problem. You don't know. If you don't know, how can you speak on it? How can you say something is worse when you don't know, when you didn't live through it?
Right. So the older
I'm just saying, did you live through
segregation?
But did you live through segregation?
No.
Exactly. Neither did I.
Right.
Did you live through seeing Michael Jordan play with his feet bleeding in his shoes? Guys would never do that today. They're crying and they're taking off a game for an ingrown fucking toenail.
Hold on now, Dominique. Jason Tatum played the playoffs with a wrist injury. Chris Paul played a playoff game where he couldn't lift his arms.
To tell you
Don't you know that Joel Embiid played with half of his face swollen? Like players play through injuries today too. Like, come on now, don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, we've seen players back in the day actually play with a broken arm, or like a leg that was pretty much broken. We've seen it, like literally broken. So again, I just think that we have to stop saying that one is better than the other. I think we're saying the same thing, you and I, except I'm not willing to say that something's worse today. I'm not willing to give credit to that. No.
You believe so? Yeah. Like I said, I agree with you here and there. But at the end of the day, these older guys, they disrespect the younger generation. You got to give respect to get respect.
Okay. And I think that a lot of them did. I think Tim Hardaway said, this is no disrespect to LeBron. Like everybody always says that. A lot of people do. A lot of people put respect on even Mark Jackson. He talked about Anthony Edwards. He said he was a great player, but they still criticize the comments. It's like sometimes I feel like young people, they just hear what they want to hear.
Okay. Yeah. He gave Anthony Edwards praise. He gave the generation praise, but then he not criticize him too, so we can't respond to criticism. He
criticized what Anthony said. So here's my rule for anything, right? So in life, I feel like if you say it, then we can pick it up. So if Anthony Edwards is putting something out there for the public to consume, then he's got to expect people to reply and pick that up. We're going to pick up that information. Right. We're going to, in Stephen A's words, pontificate further. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try to interpret what he really means, or we're going to have a reaction to that, whether we feel offended or feel good about it, agree, disagree, what have you. But that's what's going to happen when you speak. And when you speak erroneously, that's when there's also problems, right? You're going to be criticized for that. And I'm not saying that someone can't have a clap back, but at what point do you just own that maybe you were wrong? Maybe you shouldn't have said that. I have never heard Anthony Edwards come out and say, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I've never heard JJ Redick come out and make a qualified apology to Jerry West and the other Laker legends that he offended. He needs to address that.
I never heard an older player do the same.
I have. Charles Barkley apologized to LeBron.
Okay, that's one.
I've heard it's not just one, it's multiple.
Look.
It's multiple. They have. So this shit has to stop. It really does.
Yeah,
it needs to stop. But the old heads, they have given criticism, but also given praise.
And we've given our fair share of praise too. Let's be honest. We just celebrate Michael Jordan, and he ain't even played in 20 years.
Well, that's not something that's not even a control. That's not a controllable piece. You're celebrating Michael Jordan by design. You're celebrating Michael Jordan because you probably wear sneakers. He's a brand. He's a global icon.
Right.
So Michael Jordan might not just be the best basketball player, but he might be the greatest athlete that has ever lived. And
he might be.
He might just be. You know what I mean? LeBron sneakers, they go on sale. I buy them when they go on sale.
Right.
I don't know about you.
But yeah, like the younger generation, we give y'all way more praise than y'all give us. So y'all got to stop the cap on that.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you. The negative praise is just as much as the positive praise, and the younger generation has been more disrespectful. The scales have tipped. When you're out here, it can't be cap. You want to know why it can't be cap? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why it can't possibly be cap. Because if somebody is watching a game, then they have the right to comment because they are a spectator. These old heads, they're still watching. The young guys, Anthony Edwards and other people who have said ignorant comments that is literally not based in reality, they didn't even watch.
He just said one thing, though.
It's not just one thing. It's a loaded thing, though. It's a big deal. It's a big deal when you say that nobody had any skill prior to nobody had any skill except Michael Jordan. That's what he said. That's a problem. That's not just disrespectful. You're assaulting. That's an attack. Deal. That's an indictment on an entire era, and that's a big deal. And not all of the old heads are saying that these guys are soft. Most of them don't even deal with social media. Most of them don't even say anything. They're responding to people coming out saying these things like an Anthony Edwards. They're responding. At this point, they're responding. They're not coming for you unless you send for them. They're old.
That's cap, Dominique.
It's not cap. Give me an example. Give me an example besides the ones that I just gave you. Charles Barkley started it. I gave you that. I admitted that. So tell me where I'm capping.
You're capping because everybody been for the last.
I need examples. I can't just be capping with no examples. So you got to give me at least one example. Somebody that just came out unprovoked talking about the young players, calling them soft for no reason. They weren't responding or reacting to something that today's players said. I need the example.
You got Shaquille O'Neal. We could go Kenny Smith. We could go
Shaquille O'Neal. When did he talk about Rudy Gobert? When? After Rudy Gobert said that Rudy Gobert said that he would lock up Shaq. Unprovoked for no reason did he say that.
I'm talking about
Shaq didn't start with him.
I'm talking about JaVale McGee.
So, okay, and you're really going to bring up Shaq when he works for the media? It's his job to comment. So you need to give me another example. Somebody who's just not playing. No, but you can't use the media. He's an analyst. He works for TNT. That's his
But
job
he's
to
also
speak.
a player, Dom. He's a player,
But this
Dom.
is his job. You can't talk about somebody's job. So minus Shaq, who else? Who came out
You don't want me to
unprovoked?
use. You don't want me to use nobody from the media
It's not
because
that I don't want you to use anybody from the media, but that's their job. So they're being asked a question. So that's not unprovoked. That's the point I'm trying to make. So the media, they're being asked
All right,
questions.
well-
They have a moderator on their show that asks a question and they're responding. That's not unprovoked. So I'm asking you, who is bothering today's young players just completely unprovoked, and these guys are just out here minding their business? Tell me.
okay, we could go with Reggie Miller comment. We could go
Again,
with
another
Kenny Smith
media
comment.
person who was asked the question. Kenny Smith works in the media, and they're all asked a question and asked and answered.
No, you're not asked the question. They literally
Yes,
just
they
bring up
were.
players
Yes,
from
they
out of
were.
nowhere.
They're being asked the question. They don't just bring up something out of nowhere. You can't tell me anybody who just said something unprovoked. You can't.
So where did this defense, everybody jack up threes, players today, they always rest and they stop. Where did that come
Is
from? It
that
didn't
not
come out of
true?
nowhere,
Let
Dominique.
me ask you a question. Is it not true? Are players not
No,
resting?
it's not true. These players are not soft, and and not
Well,
everybody
they
is
are
bad on
soft.
defense.
I don't think you watched 75 years of basketball. And I don't think you watched 30 years of basketball.
Well, what makes them soft?
What makes them soft is the way that they attack the rim. What makes them soft is that they literally say things like, it hurts to dunk the ball. I never heard that until 2023 in my entire life.
Dominique, you ever dunked a basketball
I
before?
actually have, and it does hurt, but nobody has ever in the history of the basketball game that I've ever played complained about it to me. Nobody. I never heard that before until, like I said, 2023. I never heard a pro complaining that it hurts to dunk the ball. That's a superstar. But I heard that out of Paul George's mouth.
But anyways, I'm
just telling you. I'm just telling you. That's what makes it soft. What makes it soft is when Andre Drummond sits out a game because he has an ingrown toenail. What makes a player soft is LeBron James breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record, and as soon as he breaks the record, goes and sits out the rest of the game, and they lose the game. Soft. What makes it soft is in 2011 when you're competing in the finals, and you just literally disappear. Soft.
That's not soft. He just play well.
No, it's soft. It's
You think
soft when
LeBron's soft?
It's soft. Yes, I do. I think LeBron is soft because he doesn't want to compete. When you're going after and trying to get a bunch of other players because you don't want to compete, that's soft to me. But everybody has different definitions of that. But there is no defense
LeBron
in the league.
Hold on. See, you doing it right now. You say LeBron don't want to compete.
I don't think he was. I'm going to continue to flame LeBron. I'm going to continue to be on his ass. I'm not talking I am. So you want to call me a hater? So be it. I'm fine with whatever people want to say if that's how they view it. If you view my comments as hate, I'm okay with it because I'm going to keep saying it because this is my truth.
I ain't say you hate.
I'm just saying some people will say that.
You accusing LeBron of not competing. Do you know how hard it is to be a good NBA player? To play 20 years. Do you know how hard it is?
I do not care. That's your job. That's your job. So it is hard. I'm sure it is hard every day to get out there and compete. The lights are bright. The moment is shining upon you. But this is your job. He's been doing it for 22 years. So that makes him experienced and qualified. So get out there and do it.
Do you know how hard you got to work to play 22 years? You know how many times you got to be in the gym? How much you got to invest in the gym to play?
I'm sure Kareem Abdul-Jabbar knows about it. I'm sure Kareem Abdul-Jabbar knows what it's like to play for 22 years. You know, I'm sure that other players have a deep understanding of that. And people have given LeBron credit for playing 22 years. So we're not talking about his longevity. Yes, they have. And we're not gonna get into longevity because that's irrelevant. The question is Tim Hardaway capping for clicks?
You know what? As a competitor, I respect what Tim Hardaway said. Because honestly, if I was Tim Hardaway, maybe I would have said the same thing. But let's be real. If you didn't average 30 in your era, don't say you would have scored 40 an hour. Okay? Because at the end of the day, they already had their opportunity to shoot whatever shots they wanted to shoot, to play however they was going to play, and they didn't do it. Okay?
You think that they had the chance to jack up 15 threes a game? Do you believe that? You think they had the chance to play like Steph Curry when you don't have the space to shoot in a 90s league? There's no space. You're being guarded 94 feet, typically.
Not everybody was being guarded 94 feet every game.
Oh
See,
my
y'all be
God.
capping about that.
Oh my
too.
God. Look, I'm not capping.
You know how many times?
I'm not capping.
You know how many
You didn't
times I've seen
watch.
a point guard? Well, guys like Tim Hardaway and John Stockton, they played the game differently. They were coached differently, okay? If you watch back in the day, you know how many times you see a point guard bring the ball up and he just dribble it in one spot for like 12 seconds because he's just trying to throw the ball to the big man and trying to run offense.
But do you know why they did
didn't have
that?
a mindset.
Do you know why? It's not about a mindset. You had to play a certain way or your ass was going to be on the bench. If you jacked up threes, if
Exactly.
you shot from logo, your ass is sitting on the bench. It wasn't their choice. So again, different circumstances. That's all I'm saying. Guys back then didn't have a choice. Guys today do. They have a lot of choices. They can choose what team they want to go to. They can choose who's on their team. They can choose how they're going to play. They can choose, oh, I don't want to play defense, but I'm going to play offense. They can make all those decisions, like a Luka Doncic.
Okay.
He
So,
can just decide when he
was the
feels
90s
like playing defense, when he doesn't.
So in the 90s, y'all still had hand checking, and you think the game was still in the same state when Tim Hardaway played it, right?
I did not say that Tim Hardaway would be able to average 40 in today's league. I don't believe that.
No, he wouldn't.
I
And a
think
lot of
he
these
might be
old
able
kids,
to average 30,
say,
but not 40.
how many points did Tim Hardaway even average for his career?
I think he might have averaged 24 points a game, somewhere between 24 and 28 points a game. So he was a really good scorer, but he was also a point guard. Back then, point guards didn't score. So the fact that like he could really score the ball as a point guard, he was a great ball handler. He did a lot of things really well. But, I don't think that he would average 40. But I do think that a player like Michael Jordan might average 45. I think a player like Kobe Bryant might. I think Kobe Bryant might average 40 or 45. Players like MJ and Kobe that know how to score on so many different levels, they might be able to average so much more because back then, players today, they wouldn't even know how to get in the lane. There wasn't enough movement. There was no open lane for you to get to. That's all that I'm trying to explain to you. It was really a whole lot of different circumstance. And, it's okay for you to say, hey, I don't like the disrespect of today's players. I'm okay with that. But there is, where there's smoke, there's fire. And you just have to own that there are some opportunities in today's league. They're not making changes to the All-Star game because it's just so great and competitive. They're making changes because it sucks. The league, I think the opening game was like 1.3 million viewers. Caitlin Clark beat the NBA.
Hold on now.
That's a disgrace.
I'm glad you brought that up. Look, some of these things y'all just don't understand, okay? First of all, this ain't the 90s no more. Where everybody is watching from the same place.
I'm sorry, World Breaker. I already debunked this. I'm sorry. I have your back. I already debunked this. Gilbert Arenas tried to make this excuse as well. The same streaming service, the same things apply to other leagues. Why are people watching MLB and why are people watching NFL? They have the same. It's the same situation. NFL has the same revenue sharing. NFL has the same. You can watch more games for free, but where can you find them?
You can find they got streaming services too, but you can watch
and
a lot of
the
games
NBA finals and the NBA finals. Is the NBA finals free? Is the Super Bowl free?
Super Bowl come on a national channel, don't it?
So do the NBA finals. So let's just isolate the NBA finals.
Right,
Nobody's
but not everybody
watching
it on the TV.
All I'm trying to tell you is that 130 million people watch the NFL for the Super Bowl, and it continues to grow and increase.
But that's football, though. Football the most popular sport, though.
All I'm trying to tell you, I know that football is the most popular sport. All I'm trying to say is that viewership should not be decreasing for the NBA. It's so bad. It is
And then
so
at the
bad.
same
It used
time-
to be 30 million people watching the finals. 36 million, I think, watch Michael Jordan. And I think about 5 million people watch LeBron. 5 million.
But anyways,
That's
you
not
got to stop
good.
comparing the W. And you got to stop comparing the WNBA viewers to the NBA because that's
I'm not,
it's just not
look,
comparable.
it's not comparable, but now the WNBA, you know, the views are practically the same. That's all that I'm saying. People can't say that nobody's watching the WNBA when they are watching, and in fact they're watching more than the NBA because people are just watching highlights. No, World Breaker, it's not that oh, it's expensive to watch the NBA. It's not any of that. It's the way that people consume it. They just don't watch it and they watch highlights. They come to YouTube, they watch highlights, they go to ESPN, they watch highlights. They're not watching games. They don't want to pay for it because the product isn't good. If it was good, people would be paying for it and they would be watching, and they'd still be watching at the same clip of 30 million views.
But anyway, you got to start comparing the WNBA viewers because they season start in the summertime where there ain't as many scores. If the WNBA started
the
in
WNBA
October,
was
like
still
the NBA,
hitting with NFL. People thought that WNBA was going to tank as soon as NFL started. It didn't. So I hear you, but you're wrong again. You got to try again. Hit me again.
No.
Hit me again.
So
Hit me
you telling
again.
me- so you
NFL
telling
did
me-
not
so you telling
decrease
me-
the WNBA ratings. It didn't.
So you telling me if the WNBA, if they season start in October, they still get more views than the NBA?
WNBA went up against NFL on Sunday for the finals, and they still did very well. That's all that I'm trying to tell you. Do I believe that WNBA going up? Yes, I do. So I actually believe that if WNBA was going up against NBA right now, more people are going to watch, just like they did for college. Women's college basketball beat the NBA as well.
Yeah, it's college basketball. College basketball.
No, women's college basketball, not men's.
You know what I'm saying?
Women's
Like,
college
come on.
basketball beat men's college basketball, and it also beat NBA. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Women's basketball,
Well, I'm not talking about college, but I'm talking about the WNBA.
and the WNBA is beating the NBA. There should be no scenario. Can I tell you that WNBA doesn't even get? They don't even have. They're. I don't even know what freaking channel they come on. Ion or some bullshit. They're airing from ESPN2. They're not even airing from like a main network. I'm sorry, but you lost. You got to hit me with something else.
Hold on. No, let me ask you, Dominique. What month did the WNBA finals start?
I don't know, and it doesn't matter. They're beating NBA.
It
whenever.
do matter
It
because
doesn't matter. The NBA is going to lose if they start with the NBA in October. I'm telling you, they're going to lose. NBA doesn't want to compete against Caitlin Clark.
WNBA.
Okay, you don't watch it, and that's okay that you don't watch. But plenty of
I'm
people
asking-
are watching. That's what I'm trying to
Hold
tell
on,
you.
Dominique,
Plenty of people are
Dominique.
watching that WNBA more than the NBA.
Dominique.
Plenty of people. That's what's happening right now. So you don't have to believe me, but the facts are the
What-
facts. I'm just telling you facts.
What month did the WNBA finals start?
I don't know because I don't care. That's not the topic. It's irrelevant. I'm just telling you. I don't care. I don't care because because what I'm telling you is it doesn't matter. I don't care if it starts in January or December. I don't care if it starts in October. I don't give a flying shit when it starts.
I'm bugging out. It shouldn't matter when it starts.
It doesn't matter when it starts. If it starts in March, the women's basketball is beating men's basketball. Period. That's what's happening, and you have LeBron James to thank. So thank your king,
Dominique,
and
you
your
are
Jason
delusional if you
Tatum, who
think-
can barely dunk at the rim with any level of aggression.
You delusional if you think WNBA has the same viewers if they start in October.
No, I think
when
that
we got
I think they would have more, not the same, but more.
nobody even watched. No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
but
sorry.
except
No,
they
we'll
did.
watch Caitlin
Except
Clark.
they did. Go and look it up.
Ain't no other sports. in the
I
summertime.
already proved it. I already showed these facts on another video. I already showed the ratings in black and white. I can't make it up.
How many?
It
how
doesn't
many sports
matter.
is
Can I
going
be
on
honest with
when
you?
the WNBA
It literally does not matter because nobody ever watched the WNBA in the past. They should not be beating the NBA. The NBA should be in the multi-millions of views. They should be at least double-digit millions of views, and they are not. They're under 2 million in views. That's a disgrace.
Look, the TV
That's a
rating system is so
disgrace.
outdated.
It's
Y'all
not
gotta
about
stop.
it's
You
not
know the
about
TV
TV. How could it be about
all this
TV?
other stuff. It's
10 million
old.
people watch the Olympics. People are still watching TV.
Like, come on now.
People
the
are still
TV
watching
system y'all
TV.
talking about,
People watch.
that was created in 1950. Like, come on now. The TV
I
rating
hear
system
you,
don't
World
matter
Breaker.
anymore.
If it didn't
It's-
matter, then why are 130 million people watching the Super Bowl, but less than 5 million people are watching the NBA Finals? Why is it that people still watch the MLB?
Why is it that the
Everybody's
NBA
still
just signed a
watching
TV
baseball?
Why did the NBA sign $100 billion TV rights deal if ain't nobody watching?
Because people are watching highlights. It's about how they consume it. The NBA is smart. They realize they don't want people to watch TV. Do you know that? The NBA doesn't want people to watch. If they watch,
Yeah,
it's going to get
TV
they're going to
don't
lose
matter
money.
no more.
No, they don't want people to watch TV. They want them to consume it exactly how they're consuming it. So this way the NBA can push stars that aren't really stars, like LeBron James. Okay? They get to decide.
LeBron's not a star.
They get to decide who they're going to market. They get to decide, oh, this person isn't really that good, but we're going to market them. Like Bronny James. Can I go now?
I get it so dumb. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
World Breaker.
Look, man, look.
You're
I
the
just say it
best.
like this, man.
Say
Y'all
it
gotta
like
start
this.
hating on y'all gotta start hating on the younger generation, man. We get y'all.
It's
y'all
a two-way
flowers when we
street.
can.
It's a two-way
Like,
street.
come
A
on now.
relationship is a two-way street. A relationship is a two-way street. Y'all got to stop saying you're the greatest ever of this and you're not better than my dog in something. It's got to stop. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
man. Well, look. When they stop, we'll stop. Okay, that's all we say. But yeah, shout out to the comment section. Even though I don't watch the comment section while I'm on the phone, I know they probably talking crazy right now. Yeah, man. I know you ready to get out of here, Don. So you have a good one.
All right, World Breaker. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. All right, guys. I think I see another super chat. I'm going to read that and then we're out of here. Tim was a bad mofo, but he's not going for 30 points per game. Brother Juma, talk to me nice.
Good this morning.
I'm so good. How are you?
Blessed, black, and living in abundance.
I love it.
Thankful. I woke up this morning from my prayer and I'm like, I know this woman isn't going live right now.
I know. I'm trying to get off. I was trying to get off for like 45 minutes, but you know,
I'm sorry about that.
No,
I didn't mean to.
don't be sorry. I love chatting with you guys. I really do.
That's what's up. Well, I appreciate it.
What's on your
Will
heart,
Breaker,
dude?
man. He's a good guy. I appreciate Will Breaker. He really shout out to you, brother. He's a good man.
I love World Breaker. He reminds me of my little brother.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he reminds me of my nephew for sure. Yeah, I just want to mention real quick. It just seems like these are simple, not even arguments, because they're points, because these aren't real arguments. But it comes just down to holding yourself accountable as a person. You know, if you say something like I'm from an area where, you know, my dad, you know, my uncles, grandfather, you know, shut your mouth if you don't know.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. If you don't know something, shut up.
Just
you
that
know,
simple.
be quiet, and then give yourself. And if you want to speak on that level, you know, then you go educate yourself. You know, you go, you know, get some books, talk to some people. You know, look. I guess now Google, look online. I would cross-reference anything on Google with a real book. You know, because it's actually hard to find certain stats on players, especially LeBron. When you Google stuff, it stuff just doesn't come up if it's not, you know, shining him on. So that just tells me there that that's not a good resource anymore, because they can, you know, put what information they want on there, you know, and they can hide stuff they want as well. I just recently started finding that out when I can't find stuff. I'm like, that's crazy. But all I'm saying is that you know, they just need to be held accountable, and and it started with, of course, with when Jerry West, when JJ Redick made those erroneous statements. He should be ashamed of himself. You know, like say they wouldn't, even if you don't like
what someone is saying. The truth is just the truth, and especially when someone is paving the way for you, there's no way they could have done what they've done during that time during the 60s. You know, with the stuff that the players had to go through back then, they don't even have a clue of that, and that's clear because if they did understand the real burden that they went through, you know, being cursed at and spit on, not allowed to go into restaurants or not even to stay in certain hotels. Bronny sitting here refusing to go to the hotel when we didn't have that option to be in the hotel, not even but 30 years ago, you know, 40 years ago. I said that 40, 50 years ago, you know. And, you know, then just spilled off when Charles said what he said about LeBron, saying that, you know, after, because it always comes after a whole bunch of great statements. Oh, I love LeBron. He's a great player, one of the best of all time. Da, 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 da. And then you could, you know, you have to completely glaze him up before you can just make a simple statement, you know, about them being soft. Yeah, LeBron's soft. He's constantly flopping. He can't even finish at the rim. He's the biggest man on the court. He goes into the lane. He bowls people over. But instead of him putting up a legitimate shot and trying to get an and one, he fumbles and flops and drops and loses the ball because he knows he can't get to the rim. You know, everyone in the day would get to the rim. It's an and one. Jordan was nothing but an and one. You know, Anthony Hardaway, Grant Hill, Vince Carter, everybody, even the smaller guys, you know, like Jason Kidd, everyone got to the rim and it was an and one. You just didn't flop once you got touched and flare and flail and then go go brick 2 free throws. You know, so Charles Barkley was just keeping it real. They're soft. They can't. The lane's wide open. They can't get when they get to the rim. You know, they can't handle any contact. Anyone could look at videos of Jordan or anyone in the day and see the amount of contact they were getting. Those were blood fouls in the day. Those were blood fouls. Like if you came in the lane, they were going to really try to hurt you. You know, Jordan had to go to the gym. You know, and then of course the ending was with. I mean, to my opinion, when it really took off is when KG, after Anthony Edwards made those statements, and KG went off. And you know, KG's always holding back. He I don't know if he's a company man because sometimes he's all about LeBron, but sometimes he's not. I think he was just being respectful and didn't want to cause no drama. But after Anthony Edwards made those statements, you know, I don't know if anyone, I'm sure you have, but when him and that show with him and Prince Paul, the Ticket of the Truth, but when he went in on I don't know the exact words, I forget, but he went in on Anthony Davis and all of. He says, I'm tired. I can't sit here and play around no more. You guys can never handle our era. He just went in on him. You know, KG just couldn't hold back. You know, and it just really just comes down to, like, really, if you're gonna say something, you know, first off, excuse me, let me just I'll be through. First, if you're in a profession, you need to know your profession. You know, you need to know about the job, especially if you're a professional. You need to know, you know, your job. You know, you need to know where it started, who's the founders of it. You know, those pinnacle moments. You know what I mean? That helped it grow. Those essential people that helped build it. You know, those are the things. The founding fathers. That's just general. All these companies do it. Like, you know, you work for IBM or Apple or whatever. You know who you don't have to. You know, they talk about and in the orientations and stuff. You know, just the history of the company, and that's the information you want to know anyway. You know, what I mean, see, that's what builds pride of the company you work for. But then also, you have to know what you're talking about. Like, no one can just, you know, bite a hamburger and say it tastes like chicken. If you never had a hamburger before, whatever, you know, it just doesn't make sense. Why are they so willing to say something? And then the first thing he started with, Anthony Edwards, was, oh, I don't watch the games, or I don't know. So how can you? So you basically took all your credibility, you took all the wind out of the sail before you even spoke. You shouldn't. If you're going to openly say I don't know about it or I never watched it, that completely, you know, invalidates all your whatever you're going to say after that. What you say doesn't matter because you're admitting that you have no knowledge of what you're about to say, and that's just crazy. And it's entitlement. Well, I can just say what I want to say. That's the era we're living in now, where you're not held accountable. You're not held accountable to the contract. You're not even held accountable. It's scary when you're not even held accountable to the words that come out of your mouth.
It is scary. It's like super duper scary. You know, when you see, when you're just not even willing to do the work, you know what I'm saying? To
Yeah, exactly.
even figure out, like, you're coming behind a lot of greatness and you don't have any respect to even figure out the league that you're playing. And it's like showing up to work and you're not prepared.
Exactly.
To me, that, you know, it goes to just like not being prepared for work. It's crazy.
I agree. And they just need to have some, it's like you said, it's just respect. You know, no one was making any real money back in the day. Everyone knows that. And for them to pay those dues and to work the way they did and to get to league to where it was, because they didn't make the league that way. Right. It was like, I think we mentioned before, it was, you know, it was Magic. It started off with Magic and Bird. They got it popping. And then when Jordan came in here, his endorsements just took it to a whole nother level, you know. And then when they went to the Olympics, you know, that dream team went to the Olympics and made it global, you know, and that's when that money started coming in. So they developed the league for them to have this money. It's just like, even just that, you don't have to like them, but just respect, you know, what the trials and tribulations they went through, but then also what they built this league in order for them to reap those benefits. You know, and it's really disgusting. It's pitiful. It's unbelievable that people will just not even give respect. You know what I mean? For something that, I mean, their hands up. We made this league for them. Our generation made this league for them. You know, and and we're constantly. That's one thing about with World Breaker. What I don't understand is that, brother, we're constantly having disclaimers before we make any type of criticisms.
I know.
Of LeBron James.
We have to say how much we love LeBron first.
Yeah, it's a paragraph. It's like 5 or 6 sentences about, well, yes, he is great. Yes, he is that. Yes, he is that. It's like, and then at the end, look, Bronny shouldn't be playing right now. Or, you know, but he's a narcissist. You know, I'll end with this. I know you're tired. You got to go. I got to get my prayer. But, and I'm not trying to, I was a LeBron fan even after he went to Miami. You know what I mean? I'm an LA Laker fan. I went over there because I love Pat Riley. And I just, you know, I follow, you know, certain personnel, you know, as well. But for him to see what's really happening right in front of him, and for him not to see what's really going on, like he really is delusional. He's a narcissist. It's almost to the point of being, I think, like some type of sociopath, where he just doesn't see what's going on in front of him. He doesn't understand what's happening. But he's got drunk off of his own Kool-Aid for so long that the same people that he put on when he first came into the league to make sure his ring of fire of media that he brought with him with Rachel Nichols and what's the name, the Wemby, the big kid, the kind of, I forget his name, Wemby. You know, he brought them with him. Those are his safety nets. And for them to turn their back on him, because he has no loyalties. They make some true statements about him or his son, and he gets butthurt and then takes them off of, and then just doesn't follow them on social media. You know, Wade takes a back seat and lets him come on his team. You know, literally teaches him how to win. You know what I mean? He didn't deserve any of those MVPs. Those were all Wade's MVPs. You know, so but he can't even say thank you and say, you know, hey, well, you know, he's like a big brother to me. He really embraced me. He helped me get to the next level. You know, and then doesn't even go to his Hall of Fame speech. You know, it's like he has zero respect for anyone. He really believes this hype, and now literally his lollipop kingdom legacy is falling down and around him, and he doesn't even realize it. He doesn't even have the wherewithal, you know, to understand. You know, the conscious state of mind to understand that everything is falling down around you, but he believes the lies to a point to where he's self-destructing. And it's so weird to see it, like in real time. It's like he really doesn't get it, you know. And for people to still hold on to him and hold on to this fake narrative, the legacy of LeBron James, is not stats. If it was just about stats, then everyone would have thought that Kareem was the GOAT. No one thought Kareem was the GOAT just because he had the scoring title. And Kareem also just didn't finish at the rim. He had the sky hook. No one could do the sky hook. It's an unblockable shot. So it's just so unfortunate. I mean, I'm just hoping that when he does retire, that he's not able to manipulate, you know, the way it is. But it's good to see people, Perkins and all these. I mean, he still has his paid, you know, I don't know, call them shills, or his paid. He has people on payroll. But to see people who were loyal to him for decades to literally push back against him. It's glorious. It's a beautiful thing to see.
I'm with you, brother Juma. I really am. We need to.
Thank you for letting me rant. I appreciate
no,
you.
anytime. We need to keep telling the truth. So
Yeah,
I'm here.
And let me just say real quick. I know I was calling you Chef Dom, but the other day I didn't call in, but I was listening to you, and you were doing some psychological comparisons between like a relationship when a person thinks they someone's been trying to leave somebody, and the other person isn't aware of it, and then when they start treating them bad, and then they finally leave, and when the person leaves, they think that they're the ones who are leaving,
right?
But the ones who's leaving is hoping that they don't come back.
Yeah.
That whole segment, you had all these different psychological comparisons to LeBron James. So now you're not just Chef Dom. Now you graduate. You Doc Dom now.
I'll
The
take
DOC
it.
Dom.
I'll take it.
Doc Dom.
I'll
Dom's
take
put in
it.
work.
If you say it, I'm here for it. Thank you so much
That's
for
what's up.
calling, brother Juma. You're awesome.
Thank you for putting it in. I know it's a late night, and I ain't gonna lie. I appreciate you. I know it's crazy. I'm an early riser. I've been up since like 4. I work out and I pray bright and early. But I was gonna say, I know it's crazy because sometimes you start a little late. You know what I mean? And it gets a minute, but just the fact that you still are consistent and life is life and things happen. Some people will just say, "Oh, I'm gonna wash it. I'll do it another time. I'm just gonna make a video and not go live." The lives take a lot of time and effort, and I just appreciate that you still hold it down. You're like, regardless what time it is, that just shows the love of the game that you have, you know what I mean? And just the responsibility you're taking to not let people, tell these lies and really, and these narratives about the game of basketball. And let me just ask you real quick. Are you a 6-footer? Because you have long fingers, and also you just said you dunked today.
Really? I feel like my hands are pretty proportioned. But
so
no,
you're 6-footer?
Not at all. I'm only 5'9".
And you dunk?
No, I just have. I dunked on like a kiddie rim, like a lowered rim,
Okay,
not a child rim, but I didn't. But it does hurt.
Like an 8 foot, 9 foot rim.
And like honestly, I've been able to jump and grab the rim, but I haven't like to dunk at 5'9" for a woman is really hard. So
I was gonna say, yeah.
No, I could jump and grab the rim, and even that, like holding on to that is hard and it hurts sometimes. So
it still takes time, yeah. But no one's ever complained. That's crazy. No one has ever complained
I never heard a real superstar, even LeBron James himself. I never heard LeBron James complain that it hurt to dunk the ball. So when people say that the league is soft, those are just small examples of it.
Yeah, and even too back then you just put a little band on you. A headband and put on your forearm.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what that was when they were doing that. Jordan and all those, and what's his name, Vince Carter, and
exactly. You came up with ways to figure it out.
Yeah,
you have
JJ
Redick out here talking about that's why he doesn't dunk. I don't. Nobody wanted to see you dunk, so you didn't need to do it.
No, he can't dunk, and he knows it. Because if he could, he would. Because he'd do anything he could to be in the spotlight and make himself feel relevant. Exactly. But he can't. That was a bold-faced lie. He cannot dunk, and I'm surprised people didn't come out, teammates or whoever else, and say when, where.
Exactly. But thank you so
much. All right, well, I'm not going to hold you
Juma.
up. Thank you. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
You too. Have a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Peace.
All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. I just want to thank everybody for staying up late with me. It means the absolute world to me for you guys to be just calling in. Oh, we have Funky Town calling, so let's see what's on his heart and mind. Hey, Funky Town, how's it going?
To say one more thing before you shut down.
Go right on ahead. The floor is yours.
Those of us in the chat, we need to come up with a portable pot and spice assortment for Ricky and World Breaker and anyone else who wants to get in on it. And, so we can have, because I mean, they were self-cooking today. Like they were putting themselves in the pot and you were pretty much stirring. You had a little bit more spice too and absolutely put the flames on. But just like I said, I think we might have to do
what they call it, crowdsourcing or something. Get them the proper equipment.
I'll come up with
We want to go with
something. You want to know
some
what I think
non-stick.
that I'm gonna put up from now on when LeBron James fans call in to cry? I think I'm gonna do like the Kim Kardashian crying face for Bronny.
Yeah,
Since
needs
he's a
something. It needs
Kardashian,
something.
I'll do
Yeah,
something.
it needs to
I'm
be
here
something
for
that
that.
stands out, and he look like Bugs Bunny, doing some Hassenpfeffer, cutting his own carrots in his own stew, and especially World Break. I was surprised that he was able to keep it straight for as long as he did, and for you, for your own self, wellness and everything like that. Don't play with your food so much. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Sometimes just flambe real, flamethrower. And then
I love World Breaker. Let me just say, Ricky, that was my first time speaking to him, and
man, listen,
I can tell that
any
these
man who's
things
gonna
are
sit up there
really.
and say, any man is gonna sit up there and say that somebody he doesn't know's kid is better than his own children, okay? Any man. That means you are a sorry ass father. Because you literally said the ones you raised.
The
Someone else
ones that he raised, and not only the ones that he raised, but the ones that he raised and are out there working with their hands and working hard.
I mean, if that's true, if that's even true. But the point is, the ones that you raised, you trying to sit up here and tell my black behind that this sorry worst player in the NBA is better than your own flesh and blood. I wouldn't say that about my own cousins or something like that, but I'd be damn I'm giving somebody else credit over my own children. What I know what I put into my own kids. You gonna come up here and internet is undefeated. I'm just gonna say it like this. Ricky better hope he don't come back. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say it like that. I'm gonna flame him every time. I'm waiting on that dude. You gonna sit up here and try to play Father of the Year and you're gonna say some stupid crap like that. I'm only saying gonna say crap right now because it's Sunday. But anyway, you having a great show, sister. You keep it up, and we're looking out for you.
Thank you so much, Funky Town.
All
I
right, have a
really
good one now.
appreciate you. Shout out to all the mods. I also want to shout out Ticket TV. I see you over there in the chat. I'm trying to give you a wrench, but I don't think I'm for some reason I don't know how to do it from here. But
All
I'll
right,
figure
y'all
it
have
out.
good, and shout out to Ticket too. Ticket had a really good point he made. How Bron is sitting at a -4 plus minus.
Ticket is
Yeah,
always cooking. So guys,
he's
please
on
go over
point.
to his
He's on
channel. If
point.
you're not subscribed, go
Oh,
over
I
there
am.
and like,
I
share, and
am.
subscribe to Ticket's channel. He's incredible.
Absolutely.
I absolutely I watch him every day. So, check him out, guys. He's like the MJ of the YouTube streets. So
He's doing it up. But now you up there, sister. You keep it up.
thank you
We
so
talk.
much,
You
Funky
keep it up.
Town. I
Real
appreciate
talk.
you, and I want you to have a good rest of your day, okay?
All right, you guys too. Everybody else, hit that like on the way out if you haven't already.
Thank you so
Y'all
much.
have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. All right, guys. We're going to close out. I want to thank all of you for hanging in there with me. I know it's late or it's early, but I really appreciate it. If you guys can do me a favor and like the video, share the video, subscribe to Sports Tea if you haven't done so already. I just, really love talking about sports with you guys and hanging out with you guys. So I will see you soon. So probably in another day or two, but we'll be live again soon. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.